And Madeleine fell silent again, so I thought, respectfully, best join them all. And now the two sides disperse. Crawley into a gathering, and Notts, I think, Notts will kick toward the empty family stand in this first half. I think Crawley will kick us off.
We are the Black and White Army.
3 minutes past 3 on a Saturday afternoon. Notts v Crawley, first round of the FA Cup. The Crawley manager, Scott Lindsay, is halfway across the pitch to applaud the away fans. He'll have to quickly get back off the pitch again. And we are about ready to go. We'd love a cup run, wouldn't we, Stel?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, a horrible day. It's a credit to, say, Scott Lindsay, the Crawley manager, clapping the Crawley fans. There's probably, well, more than I expected. I'd say 150 maybe over there in the Jimmy Cyril stand. A long trip on a horrible, filthy day in terms of weather. And a reasonable turnout from the Notts fans as well. So we're hoping for a game to warm everybody up and get everybody excited.
Crawley do kick us off. A long ball down the far touchline. Rawlinson's there to meet it and kicking back to Aidan Stone, back in between the sticks for Notts today, in place of Sam Slocum, who's on the bench. And Stone finds Rawlinson, just about finds a pass in between a very small gap to Aidan Baldwin, but it does set Notts away now with Austin in the midfield. He switches it out wide right to Aaron Naman. It appears that Jody Jones has started wide left, Adebayo wide right. It's Aaron Naman who's in the attacking midfield slot. O'Brien on the ball in the centre circle, through the centre circle to Rawlinson, turns out down that far touchline now to Jody Jones, just past the halfway line, then back into his own half to Rawlinson again, who lays it short for Baldwin. He'll run forward with the ball this time, past a couple. Rafiq Khalili gets past, but falls backwards with it. Not still have it. And from Crawley's kick-off, minute play, not have had all the ball. As I say, Stone goes long and Crawley underneath it, ahead of the halfway line. Now Crawley will come forward down his near side with Cerula. Early cross towards the middle. Baldwin gets it away, not all that far. Austin's there very quickly to help it on its way. And this might set Notts clear down his right-hand side with Toby Adebayo. Looking forward for an option which wasn't really there. Has to run sideways with it. Still doing so. Across the pitch and then lays it back to Aidan Baldwin. Minute and a half gone. Still 0-0.
Yeah, just looking in the early stage how Notts are going to line up. We speculated with the changes how they would line up. It looks very similar to how they normally line up, back three. It's 3-4-2-1 formation. David McGoldrick is going to be the spearhead, playing that Macaulay Langstaff role furthest forward, with just in behind him. Dan Crowley's moved across to the left-hand side, slightly withdrawn on the left-hand side, and Aaron Naman playing where Dan Crowley usually plays, on that slightly withdrawn right-hand side role. It's
very windy here today at Meadow Lane. We've got our notes taped down in the press box here in all four corners, and they're still blowing about as the rain, you can see in front of us, is blowing towards us. Thankfully not in our faces, but it's not a nice day at all. As Crawley come forward with it down that far touchline. Good recovering once again on that far touchline. That's Dan Crowley this time, and he wins Notts a free kick left back position, which Rawlinson is the man to take. Crawley not in the best of form coming into this. They had won 5 in a row in September, got their manager nominated for manager of the month, but since then they've not won in 6. 14th in League Two at start of play. Well, there will be an end of play, it's a cup game, of course. There's Aidan Baldwin, marauds forward and then gives the ball away. And now Crawley will try and work the ball forward. So Cerula chests it down, does well, left-hand side, pulls the ball back towards the penalty area, back to goal. Can he get the shot in? Now faces the goal. Brian slides in off the post, and it's in on the rebound. It's Orsi with the goal. It hit the post. Aidan Stone couldn't push it away very far. And it comes back to Danilo Orsi. Less than 3 minutes been played. After Aidan Baldwin ran forward with the ball, lost it on the far side, and they switched from right to left at Crawley. Cerula took it down nicely, pulled it across. A bit of a scramble. In the end, Danilo Orsi can poke it beyond the goalkeeper. And with 3 minutes on the clock, it's Notts 0, Crawley 1.
Well, virtually the first attack of the game, wasn't it? Notts had possession of the ball comfortably for a couple of minutes before that, but then Crawley win possession on that right-hand side. Floated diagonal ball to Cerula on the inside left. His low little pullback, I think it finds Lolos back to goal inside the Notts penalty area. His turn and shot goes through the legs of Aidan Baldwin, who's in front of him, does everything he can. I think he might have took a deflection off him, trying to block that shot. It goes into the path of Danilo Orsi, whose first time reaction, sort of deflection if you like, comes back off the post, straight back to his feet. And with Aidan Stone stranded on the floor, he puts it into a largely unguarded net from about 3 or 4 yards out. The worst possible start for Notts.
Absolutely, horror starts as Macari wins himself a free kick inside his own half. I don't think Notts have actually been beyond the halfway line particularly yet. They have seen a lot of the ball in the first 3 minutes as something else blows across the press area. It's very windy today. Not a nice day at all for football. One of those days where if you get hit with the ball really hard, I think you're going to feel it for the rest of the night, aren't you?
Well, I say not a nice day. It's just got markedly worse within 3 minutes for Notts as Crawley take the lead, but Notts trying to get something down the right-hand side with Toby Adebayo.
But he concedes a throw, and he thought he was going to win Notts a throw. He actually concedes one. The last time Crawley advanced from round one was in 2020. They won at Torquay by 6-5 in normal time. We may be on for a repeat with an early goal here. We haven't played 5 minutes yet. Notts 0, Crawley 1, but Notts not really seen too much of the ball going forwards yet as Maguire throws down the line. Adebayo helps it on its way. It's up in the air once more. O'Brien heads in the wrong direction. Austin can't take it down. Between 3 or 4 of them all struggling. Jody Jones then gets on the ball. His first touch is loose and Crawley pounds on it. It's with Lolos who can turn towards that far side. Austin recovers. It bounces back to a Crawley man though. O'Brien this time gets a foot in and keeps Notts in possession. But his layoff is short to Adebayo, and now Crawley will come again. He's now in the midfield with Kelly. He'll try a shot and it's not too far wide of Adenstone's right hand post, and Notts need to sort themselves out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Crawley have started right on the front foot in terms of their intent and their tempo, getting about Notts. Obviously, it's a slick, wet surface. We've had all this rain in the last few days, and it continues to rain today. And Notts just been a little bit lax with their passing there. Jim O'Brien not finding Toby Adebayo, put him on the stretch, and eventually it breaks for Kelly about 20 yards out, and he just drags his shot about a yard or so wide. But
McGoldrick could be in here, not quite. The keeper's very quick off his mark. It was a flat, low goal kick from Adenstone. Just bounced through everybody. McGoldrick was alert to it, running through, but the goalkeeper did very well there. Did Luca Ashby-Hammond to be very quick off his line and just slice it out to play for a Notts throw.
Well, that gives you an indication of just how slick this surface is. As you say, a sort of miss-hit goal kick from Adenstone zips off the surface between the two Crawley centre halves, or 2 of the 3 Crawley centre halves, because they're playing a similar formation to Notts. And just for a split second, it looked like David McGoldrick was going to be through on goal. Again, the pace on the pitch took the ball away from him and allowed Luca Ashby-Hammond out to clear.
Stone on the ball again, forward along the ground this time to O'Brien. Has to go back to Stone there. Not hesitating from pressing Notts high up the pitch. That's another not very good ball out from the goalkeeper, but he gets away with it. Not now they don't, because now here is Lolos inside a penalty area for Crawley, trying to pull it back. It ricochets off a couple. Austin then pokes it and it's just going to run behind. Stone had to help it behind. I think it probably would have gone behind anyway, but Stone had to make sure. 7 minutes not even played on the clock here. Notts 0, Crawley 1, but Notts are all over the place so far in his opening 7 minutes.
Well, we always say when the pitch is as wet and greasy and slippy as it is and slick, your touch has got to be immaculate. And in the first 6 minutes or so, 1 or 2 Notts players' touch has been a little bit wayward to allow Crawley to pounce. Credit to them, they've been around Notts like flies trying to win the ball back off them and causing a little bit of mayhem there.
Nick Cerula, left-footed, short corner towards the penalty area. Again gets the ball back. An overlapping run comes in. It nicks off of Jody Jones and out for a second corner to Crawley in quick succession.
Yeah, Crawley right at it, don't they? Real quick start from the visitors. They've got the goal. That'll buoy them. That'll give them a bit of confidence and a bit of belief. Now they're winning a second consecutive corner from that at their attacking right-hand side.
Different player taking it though. Will Wright this time. Centre half with his right foot being out swinger. There's 5 or 6 up in the box for Crawley. Couple outside of it. Wright with the right-footed ball in. Not a bad-looking ball. Baldwin does well to head it clear from inside the 6-yard box. Actually find Dan Crawley as well. And now Notts will play the ball quickly towards Aaron Aman. It'll bounce up off of the wet surface, but he'll get there. And now what can he do with Aaron Aman? He's past the halfway line. Got Adebayo ahead of him. Got a challenge coming his way. He's being pulled and being pulled back and restricted, but play continues. Now it's with O'Brien. Wide right is Adebayo once more. Cuts inside of one, then goes back to O'Brien. Wants the man to run outside. O'Brien will just run there himself. Can't really advance much further with it. Has to get back to Adebayo. Plays it across the halfway line with Orsi sliding in, but not keep it. It's now with Jones wide left. Trying to run his man in line the penalty area is Jones. Pulled it into Crawley with a bit of space. Gives it back to Jones in a good position for a first-time cross. Fizzed in into the hands of the goalkeeper, Ashby-Hammond, who dives to the ground and keeps hold of it well in not the nicest of conditions.
Yeah, good bit of play by Notts down and start down the right-hand side, transfer it over to the left-hand side. Jody Jones gets up against his fullback. It's actually Will Wright who's down as a centre-half in the team, but he took that corner on the right and he was still on the right-hand side recovering. and Jody Jones just buys a yard, gets towards the byline and fizzes it. Good idea, low into that 6-yard box. Unfortunately, just too close to Ashby Hammond, who gathers it, as you say, comfortably in what is nightmare conditions for goalkeepers.
Keep you up to date with any potential shocks in the FA Cup up and down the country. There's one already looking likely, which is as Aidan Baldwin turns away for challenge nicely to keep Notts in possession inside their own half. After 9 minutes, Swindon of League 2 trail National League Aldershot by 3-0. Swindon 0, Aldershot 3 after 9 minutes.
Right. And we thought Notts had made a bad start.
Don't you just love the FA Cup, don't you? Good, isn't it? Aidan Stone has the ball. He goes along with it towards this near side. Maguire will just flick it back to the goalkeeper. That's the same Lawrence Maguire that was at Chesterfield last season. Scored against Notts in the Wembley penalty shootout. In fact, one of only 3 Chesterfield players who scored. Need I remind you of that? Of course you remember it, of course. Crawley have it in their own half. It's with Wright. Now to Maguire again. Square to right, halfway inside his own half. Just pointing and wanting a bit of movement ahead of him. There isn't too much of it, so has to get back to the goalkeeper, Ashby Hammond, again. Making his FA Cup debut in the proper rounds. He gets the ball back again, all in yellow. And then goes short once more to the far side. To Gordon. He goes down the line. Baldwin trying to win it back. Ball's up in the air. Austin gets a foot on it, but it bounces favourably for the Crawley man in the midfield. Now Kelly in the centre circle can turn out towards Maguire and play it onto Sarula wide left. Adebayo very close to him. Sarula keeps it in play, trying to run at Toby Adebayo, then cuts inside of him on towards Kelly, opens up for a first time shot potentially, thinks again, plays it out wide right, edge of the penalty area is Gordon. Got an overlapping run, but he turns back instead to Gladwin. Square from him to Maguire, who's still quite far forward. All this is halfway inside the Notts half. Wide left now with Lolos, cuts inside of one, then gives it on towards Kelly. Again it opens up for him, but again he's got a free pass on towards the right hand side, where Gordon pulls it back for a cross win from Gladwin, nicks off of... Oh, it goes wide in the end. Well, it's so bizarre. I thought Stone must come for it as the ball looped him towards the penalty area. He's only 2 yards away from his goal line. It took a deflection off Jody Jones at the near post. And a Crawley man with a header at the back post. It goes across goal, and maybe a yard or so wide of Stone's left-hand post.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Adam. It looked like Aidan Stone could have come and got that. The cross initially was deflected, looping up into the air. I think it's Sarula, wasn't it, on the far post. Inside the 6-yard box, I thought Stone had time to he's got to assess it, judge the flight of the ball, but make a quick decision. Thought he could have come and claimed it, come and punched it. He didn't, and Sarula won the header. He headed it back across goal, and thankfully for Notts, it went a yard beyond the far post and probably a yard ahead of Horsey, who was looking to poach something in at that back post.
McGoldrick wins a free kick and then gets straight up and receives it quickly. Now he spreads it out wide left to Jones. Got 2 not too far away from him. One of them leaves a little bit on him, but Jones keeps possession. Then turns back out to the far side to Rawlinson. Square infield to Crawley, who turns and faces forwards and then runs at a couple. And then switches it with a nice looking ball in behind to Toby Adebayo wide right. It'll be a first time cross. Oh, shout of handball. Nothing given. Adebayo has a second bite. Towards the back stick to McGoldrick. Shot it in! McGoldrick was a fantastic, intelligent play. Not to have a go at himself from a tight angle, but to pull it back, to slide it into the path of Dan Crawley. From underneath the crossbar with a tap in and not to respond. 12 and a half gone. It's one apiece.
Well, and it's a perfect response as well, and it's a well-worked goal as well. Dan Crawley begins it and finishes it off. It's him that gets the equaliser. Lovely little place, low centre of gravity. He receives that ball and turns in the middle of the pitch and then sprays the ball out to the right-hand side, in behind the wing-back for Toby Adebayo to run onto. His first cross was blocked, shouts of handball, nothing doing, but it comes back second time. Toby Adebayo floats a lovely left-footed curling cross to the back post. David McGoldrick, probably about 3 or 4 yards beyond the back post, could have headed for goal, but picks the right option, heads it down to his teammate Crawley, who's 2 or 3 yards out in the middle of the 6-yard box. Can't miss from there, and Notts are back on level terms, one apiece.
And Crawley's 8th goal of the season in all competitions. It's one apiece at Meadow Lane in the FA Cup. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham on all frequencies for you this afternoon and online in the UK only. You can find a link on the BBC Sport website to that. Stone goes long, looking for McGoldrick. It bounces towards O'Brien, then McGoldrick is offside when the ball comes back his way. Good job from a Crawley perspective, because I think McGoldrick would probably fouled if it hadn't been offside, and they get on with it to the away side. Trying to forward ball in behind to Gordon, who stayed on side, runs at Jones, whips an early cross, which is allowed to run towards Lolos, back to goal, edge of the D, on his left foot, trying to get it on towards his right. He just runs through a couple more. He's still going, then lays it on for Maguire to shoot, and Stone has to punch it over the bar, sort of over and behind for Crawley's third corner of the game. But Lolos there was allowed to just run almost through the Notts defence inside the penalty area.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he nutmegged Jim O'Brien on the edge of the box, didn't he? Had 2 or 3 Notts players around him. Just set it back to the edge of the box. Inside left channel, Lawrence Maguire coming onto it, name we're familiar with, on loan from Chesterfield. Obviously came up against him in the National League, and he struck it firmly first time, left-footed, rising close to Aidan Stone, who took no chances, turned it behind for a corner from Crawley's attacking left-hand side.
Which they take short and don't really work all that well, but we'll get a second go at it on this near side with Kelly, down the line to right and on again towards Cerullo in a good position for a first time cross. It's a good looking ball. McGoldrick with a fantastic diving defensive header to not just get the ball away but also pick out Jody Jones, and now it's 4 on 4. The Notts maraud forwards at pace. Jones wide left is Sam Austin. Look at him go at full speed to get there. Left side of the penalty area, pulls it into a good position, and it's well defended by Liam Kelly to put it behind for Notts' first corner of the game. Cliche number 1 of the afternoon. It feels like a proper cup tie, this, doesn't it?
Absolutely does, yeah. End to end there. Notts springing a counter-attack, clearing straight from one end of the pitch to the other. Jody Jones to Sam Austin, makes 30 yards. His cross, dangerous area, but turned behind defensively from Crawley. This time a corner to Notts from their attacking left-hand side.
Jones short to Austin and up the line to Rawlinson, and now square to O'Brien halfway inside the Crawley half. Square again to the man, and we'll work it now to wide right is Toby Adebayo. Got one to try and beat in towards the man. Give and go, gets the ball back, pulls it into a good area again, which is slid, and an acrobatic clearance clears it not all that far to Macari. We know he can hit them. That one didn't quite catch well enough. It's now with Aaron the man. Wide right, ahead of him Adebayo. Another first time cross into the middle. Crawley trying to touch it down, but it's a little bit too far behind him for him to be able to do so, and it's lashed away downfield in clearance all the way through to Stone, and Notts will try and build again.
Well, it's got to be said, I mean, we've just had 16 minutes of the game. We're at 1 apiece, but it feels like both teams, when they go forward, there are goals. Both teams look dangerous. Crawley play a very, very similar style, passing football, possession-based football to what Notts play, and it's about who can do that better. At the minute, I'll say the conditions are not good for defenders and goalkeepers, but Notts, if you can put dangerous balls into the 6-yard box and the penalty area, that is going to be difficult to defend. Yeah,
Crawley have only kept 2 clean sheets all season, and there's only 5 teams in League 2 with a worse defensive record than Crawley. One of them is Notts, so that kind of backs up everything that you just said, Stel.
Well, you mentioned a 6-5 earlier, didn't you? I mean, what price are we getting on that?
Wouldn't bet against it at this point. 1-1, nearly 17 played. As Crawley try and switch it from right to left, it's just too high for Nick Cerullo, over his head, and out for a Notts throw in halfway inside their own half, right hand side. Adebayo, the man to take it. Nobody at all moving to make an option at the minute. Now Aaron the man does, and him and Jim O'Brien getting each other's way, which looked like a little bit of a decoy, but not concede possession. McGoldrick being held, wanting something from the referee, not going to get it, and now here come Crawley with Lolos, who looks very lively. Baldwin steps in to win the ball back. Crawley helps it to nick it round the corner to Austin, and now Notts have it safely again inside their own half with Austin, Crawley, who does so well to escape too. Even David Jackson applauded that one next to me. And now Jones has it on the far side just beyond halfway. Oh, and he can beat a couple as well, and he rides another challenge, and he's still going. JJ, little step over, rolls the ball wide left. Crawley, bit of a high cross. Adebayo will keep it alive into a good position. It's cleared away on a half volley as Jody Jones goes down off the ball somewhat, which is a concern. Yeah, well, there's a couple of brilliant individual bits of play. First, Dan Crawley halfway inside, Notts off, under pressure with 2 or 3 Crawley men around him. He's just that low centre of gravity. He's able to change direction and change pace so quickly. Shrugs, gets away from them. Then he gets over the halfway line, gives the ball to Jody Jones, who goes, well, I'll join the party as well. He beats 2 Crawley players, and they attack the left-hand edge of the Crawley penalty area. Cross a little bit too far eventually from Dan Crawley, but just off the ball. Jody Jones has gone down in a heap. He's back up on his feet now, but limping. It's interesting to see, as we said before the game, with that Matty Palmer injury not stretched in terms of numbers, that'll be one to keep an eye on Jody Jones, so I hope it's nothing too severe. Notts throw in line with the penalty area, right hand side. Adebayo into McGoldrick. Got 2 to try and beat, just a little back heel, flicks it off of his man Cerullo, and out for another Notts throw. 19 on the clock, 1 apiece at Meadow Lane. Adebayo will have another throw in to take. O'Brien and the man and McGoldrick, the three options. Just thinks again, they all reset those three and run to a different position. Adebayo towards McGoldrick. The pullback is, the layback, is a bit short, and it's cleared away downfield by Crawley. Not trying to find anyone specifically, just trying to get the ball away, which they do. Baldwin underneath it, inside his own half, and then plays it along the ground to Crawley. That ball just rolled underneath his boot. Back to Ashby Hammond. McGoldrick closing him down. Ashby Hammond goes long, with Baldwin again underneath it to head on towards the far side. Jones flicks it when the ball looked like it was long dead, but Crawley will actually come away with that on top. It's Gordon with an early cross to the right hand side towards the middle, where Horsey goes to ground from a challenge from Macari. Intake of breath from the people around us. Thankfully the referee deems that not a foul, and Adebayo does well to see it out for a goal kick. But I mean, Horsey seemed as if he was stopped from getting to the ball by Aidan Baldwin.
Yeah, he did well actually, because you've just got to lean on your man. He just got the wrong side a little bit, and he's covering across. Horsey looked favourite for that ball. He just leant into him, just got his body across him a little bit, gave him a little bit of a nudge, not too much. But as you say, there was one or two sharp intakes of breath when Horsey didn't make contact with the ball. You thought he might have made more out of it, and his Crawley teammates might have made more out of that. As it was, the ball goes harmlessly out for a goal kick, which Aidan Stone takes.
He does long. It's over the last defender, and they have to scamper backwards to get there, where Wright can just clear it out into the Jimmy Silver stand on the far side from us, where those Crawley fans are housed. Not a bad effort from them, as Jones throws in to Crawley now. Still tight to that left-hand touchline. Runs in field with it, does the Notts goal scorer. Plays it back to Macari. He's just inside his own half. Little dink over the top of the Crawley defence towards Adebayo. Cerula with a dominant header out for a Notts throw. Adebayo to take. 25 yards up or so from the corner flag. Again, not got too many options, and Adebayo does find O'Brien, who can turn the ball round the corner in behind, back to Adebayo. First time cross towards the middle, is headed away inside a penalty area. They're playing it around dangerously for a second there, Crawley. They do clear it now, but again, Notts just win it straight back. Macari heads it on to O'Brien. Now Austin inside a centre circle, goes back to Rawlinson. He has to get back again to Baldwin. Takes his time, fizzes the ball out wide left to Crawley, takes it down so effortlessly, and then plays it infield to Austin. Returns the pass to Crawley, halfway inside the Crawley half. Back to Austin again. Has to do a little pirouette to escape a challenge. Go back to Rawlinson, who switches it with a very good ball out wide right to Toby Adebayo. Good first touch as well. Right corner of the penalty area, trying to take on his man towards the byline. Pulls across in. Oh, it's just wide. It maybe got a little touch off of David McGoldrick, but it's inches wide. It looked like it might have been itself of the keeper's right-hand post, and not so close to taking the lead.
Yeah, a really good play. Good switcher play from Conor Rawlinson this time, who's playing as the left of the three Notts centre halves, switching a 50-yard pass out to Toby Adebayo, wide right. Quick and early change of play. You see how effective that can be. He's got space in front of him. He attacks the penalty area. Defender can't touch him. He's one-on-one, trying to sell a little dummy. Goes on the outside on his right foot from about 15 yards out. Plays it low and hard across the face of goal. Across come shot. Unfortunately, because he's hit it with his right foot, it's curling away from that far post and ends up eventually going a couple of foot wide of the far post.
Crawley had the ball in the midfield. It's now with Maguire on halfway. We've got a bit of space ahead of him to run into. Cerula outside of him. Maguire still going for now. Then just stops. Ball completely still for a second as he gives it square to Kelly. On from him again to the captain Gladwin. Plays it forward to Horsey with his back to goal, who gives it back into his own half to Wright. From him it goes wide right to Johnson. Well, ball over the top. The flag stays down here. Crawley in a fantastic position. Baldwin gets it away initially. It's now back to Lolos, who can run past one and pass another and put it wide with his shots, which bounces behind of Aidenstone's right-hand post. But Notts fans and Notts players unhappy, because it looked for all the world as if the offside flag should have gone up, and it didn't, and thankfully it comes to nothing. Yeah,
thankfully for Notts as well. A huge sigh of relief there. Travis Johnson making the run from deep. Notts with a high line. I'm like you, it looked like he'd timed it a little bit too early. The linesman's flag, we know, doesn't come up until he becomes active. It never came at all, and he was obviously judged him as onside. He pulls the ball back to Lolos, who's got really good feet inside the Notts penalty area. He just cuts it onto his left and then chops it back onto his right foot from about 10 yards. and then gets his shot away and should have done better. Doesn't hit the target, drags it about 5 or 6 yards wide of Aidan Stone's right hand upright, but should have, if he hits the target there, you fancy he should score. The number 8 Cladai Lolos for Crawley.
Crawley have it now with their goalkeeper inside their own penalty area. They're a useful front two, aren't they? Lolos and Orsi, 6'2", 6'4" between them. But they're very good with their feet as well. They've both had a couple of chances where they've just kind of walked their way through the Notts defence.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Lolos there showing exceptional feet, moving it from right to left and back again, getting between 2 Notts defenders. Orsi, a name again we know from the National League, was at Maidenhead, had a good season for them, and then got a move on from there. But here come Crawley again down the right-hand side. With
Gordon, cross, loops toward the back post, should go over everybody, it does, but it'll be retrieved on this near side by Lolos. He's got Adebayo to try and beat, pulls it on towards Kelly, opens up for him for a second, tries the reverse ball to find Cerula, but it's just too much on it, and the wet, zippy turf just helps the ball run behind for a goal kick, where there's been 25 minutes on the clock. It's Notts 1, Crawley 1.
Well, I've got to say, the first 25 minutes have flown past, haven't they? You know, it's been exciting attacking both ends. Both teams scored a goal. You know, both teams had other chances. You've got to say Crawley probably had the better of it in the first 25 minutes. I think we were saying before the game, Scott Lindsay was at Swindon while Luke Williams was there.
He was, yeah.
And it's noticeable how similar both teams want to play. You know, very similar styles, looking to pass the ball. Okay, slight changes in terms of Crawley played 2 men up front with 3 in behind, if you like. Notts play the 1 up front with two spearhead in behind. But they look to play Crawley. They'll use the goalkeeper as a spare man whenever they get the opportunity. And as we saw there, Liam Kelly, they won't just take pot shots, they'll try and play in down them little channels.
Yeah, Scott Lindsay was the youth team manager when Luke Williams was in charge at Swindon around 2015-16 sort of time. That's a really good ball wide right to find Kellen Gordon for Crawley again. He's got one to try and beat. That's Jody Jones. It's a very good claim by Aidan Stone as it came fizzed in towards him. He could either just punched it or parried it, but he kept hold of it very well with that vicious effort, and he thought about an early release to get Notts on the attack as well, but it's a very good save from the goalkeeper. Stays 1-1. Yeah,
good hands from Aidan Stone. We've said how wet and greasy the sort of surface is, and then the ball is. A cross-come shot there, fierce pinged effort from Kellen Gordon from the angle of the penalty area. Hit it truly, hit it sweetly, but claimed, not parried, caught by Aidan Stone. Notts don't have to defend.
Again, they try that switch towards Kellen Gordon. This time I think had timed his run better, but there's too much on it. It'll go for a Notts throw, halfway or so inside their own half, left-hand side. Crawley have averaged the 3rd highest amount of possession in League 2 this season, of course, and Notts are number 1 on that, but again, they do play quite similar, Notts and Crawley, or like to at least, but Notts haven't really let Crawley have too much of the ball. Well, they're going to let him have it here, as Stone can only kick the ball out of play for a Crawley throw on halfway.
I think one thing we can say, I mean, we know Notts have got injuries, but in terms of the team selection, how seriously do teams at League 2 take this game? Well, this is about as strong a Crawley team as they can put out. Notts, given the injuries, about as strong. Obviously, Macaulay Langstaff would be one that would be in the starting lineup. Carl Cameron's, we think he's nursing a knock, he's being protected, but both teams with strong lineups and really going at it. You know, sometimes you can get these cup games where teams are mismatched or there's loads of changes, and then it can be a little bit stop-start because there's no flow to the game. No such evidence of that here today. 27 and a half minutes on the clock, and some really good high-tempo football being played.
And Crawley have passed the way out of trouble nicely here. It's with Kelly, who's still inside his own half. It's now back all the way, in fact, to the goalkeeper, Ashby Hammond, but they keep it well. Do Crawley. And Ashby Hammond will have to go long. Cerula's making that forward run in behind for a second. He will get the ball down. Adebayo commits and doesn't win, and now Cerula can cut inside with it towards Lolos. Can he get a shot in? He can. It off. Fantastic save again from the keeper. It just deflected up and made it really difficult. He had to sort of take a step back and just claw it up into the air and then catch it on a second attempt. But again, it's Lolos that's causing trouble for Notts in that penalty area, and Stone again has to make a good save.
Yeah, again, quick adjustment to the feet. Lolos, you say, he's about 6'2". He looks it, 6'2", 6'3", but he's got
6'4", in fact.
Well, even that. But yeah, you've got better eyes than me, Adam. But even so, on the deck, he shifts the ball quickly, and twice Cerullo down this left-hand side as well. He's finding acres of space. He gets the ball into Lolos on the edge of the penalty area, who's afforded a little bit too much time and space and gets away from Lewis McCarry a little bit too easily, gets his shot away, and thankfully Aidan Stone throws a big right paw up and blocks it and grabs it at the second attempt.
Ball and slides and doesn't get the ball too far enough away. Now here comes Crawley, he's got a man over, a shot towards goal again, it's a good save, and the rebound thankfully finds a Notts player, but Aidan Baldwin still on the ground. Is not doing a free kick to alleviate the pressure. They didn't really use a spare man well enough there, did Crawley, and Stone pushed the ball clear, and there was Crawley men up in the box for the rebound, but thankfully it fell to O'Brien, who could bring it clear, and then with Notts a free kick. But Aidan Baldwin, lying flat out on the ground, doesn't want the physio to come on for now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just a contact one, whether he just went in for a slide challenge in the middle of the pitch. Just feeling the after effects. Yeah, no physio coming on, but again another decent chance for Crawley. Good save from Aidan Stone, low down to his right. As you say, that they had bodies over there. Crawley, they swamping in the middle of midfield, not struggling to really play their way through the lines defensively, and they swamp through. They get on that inside right channel. Maybe could have picked a pass, but he opted to go for the low shot across goal. It's a little bit too close to Stone, who does get down well, get a strong right hand to it, parries it out, and not able to complete the clearance. But Crawley have had the better of the chances. It's 1-1, but you know they've had 2 or 3 other really good chances they could have added to the one goal that they have got.
Exactly half an hour played on match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Notts 1, Crawley 1. A reminder that later tonight from 7 it's match night as Mansfield take on Wrexham, also in the FA Cup, and then tomorrow, as if you've not had enough football for the weekend, Forest home to Villa, match day from 1 o'clock. Scoreboard will stop working, they're just showing a desktop at the minute. Not too sure what they're meant to be showing or what they were trying to change it to, but it's just a bright blue screen with a little cursor icon on it at the moment. The last hour I checked, it said 30 minutes on the clock. In fact, they're back on again. Header from a Crawley man. Baldwin helps it on its way downfield towards McGoldrick, who can't really challenge for it in the air, and that's a very good ball forward from Will Wright to find Cerullo, but it's well defended by Macari. Adebayo commits his man and then beats him, runs around the inside of him and gives it out wide right to Aaron, the man who's got space ahead of him. He's got grass in front of him, tries an early cross which deflects off of Kelly, and he'll get the ball back in fact from Cerullo, and Crawley will again try and play their way out of trouble, which they do well. Try and switch it towards the far side. It'll run favourably for Rawlinson, and Notts back in possession inside their own half now with Lewis Macari. O'Brien and Macari exchange a couple of passes. Macari faced his own goal. He'll have to be quick if he goes back to the goalkeeper. He can't really afford to do so, and he does well in the end to win. Notts a throw in, just allowing Cerullo to come across and put the ball out of play for that Notts throw, which Adebayo has been told to take from much further back than he was trying to, by the referee Peter Wright. He refed quite a few Notts games in the National League over the last few seasons. Promoted now, as we're Notts, of course. As Aaron the man now wins a free kick. Kelly a little bit too close to him. I mean, Kelly played for Rochdale in both of the FA Cup second round games that Notts played against Rochdale a couple of seasons ago. Well, a few more than that, in fact, 2021 wasn't it now? And Rochdale won on the in the replay. That's not the best free kick forward from Macari. Crawley tries to win it back between a few Notts players that can't quite do so, and so Crawley have it again inside their own half with Wright. Now forwards to Khalil, who's not seen too much of the ball so far. Maguire now gets it wide left, and he'll run forward with it to Lolos, who's approaching the penalty area. Plays it in to the front man, gets it back and switches it out wide right to Gordon, who pings across in towards the back post, but Adebayo can get underneath to head clear downfield, and Crawley will let it run out for a throw in halfway inside the Notts half, which they get on with. So Liam Kelly, who's allowed to turn, he's got a lot of space here as a Crawley midfield. He goes back with it to Johnson. Now Maguire has it wide left, beats Naman, running down the left hand touchline, still going as Lawrence Maguire, tries to put it back towards Cerullo. Two Notts players nearly get in each other's way. Macari and Adebayo work well together to find the man, and they pass away out very nicely here to Notts. Now Austin, can he release Dan Cran on that far side? He'll definitely try to, but it's well defended initially, but only initially. Can now Jody Jones wins it back, and he nearly has the beating of Will Wright for pace, but Wright just had enough of a head start to get there first and give it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, again, Crawley just been able to shut the door in Notts' face as they try to break down that attacking left-hand side. You say the visitors have probably had a little bit more of the ball in the last 10 minutes or so. They've started to look a little bit comfortable, camping themselves in the Notts half. Notts almost there, trying to play on the counter-attack, which is not something we're used to seeing here at Meadow Lane particularly.
34 on the clock, Notts 1, Crawley 1. Crawley took the lead early on, 3 minutes in fact through Dan Horsey. But Dan Crowley equalised 10 minutes later. And that is how it is at the minute, one apiece. Rawlinson has the ball halfway inside his own half. Now Stone goes low with it towards O'Brien, who turns around the corner just about quick enough to find the man. Can that set Aaron the man away? Not quite. He's still got the ball though. He's well inside Crawley territory. Trying to play one in behind for the run of Adebayo. Will that ball run for him? No, it won't. Maguire slides to the ground, scuffs the grass in doing so. That does win Notts a corner.
Yeah, you see the idea, can't you? You're looking to play that underlap ball in between the two centre halves, the left-hand centre half, Lawrence Maguire and Will Wright, the central one.
They put the ball into the middle here from the corner of Notts. Adebayo towards Rawlinson at the back post, who does win the header into a decent position, but it's cleared away. When's the last time Notts put the corner and into the penalty area?
It took me by surprise as well. I was expecting them to take it short.
O'Brien finds McGoldrick back to goal, wriggles away from one challenge. 30 yards or so from goal, then plays another 1-2, beats another man on his left foot, tries a shot, he drags wide, but it took a nick off of the defender, which was right, and that puts it out for another Notts corner. Yeah,
good little bit of play, David McGoldrick, a little give and go with Jim O'Brien, 25 yards out. As I say, got it on his left foot, just miss-hit it a little bit, but via a deflection goes out for another corner to Notts. From their attacking right-hand side again, and this time they'll take a little bit more time overtaking it.
It's a zonal marking system for Crawley. They've got 4 lined up along the 6-yard box, and it's pinged all the way across to Jody Jones, that far side, who's approaching the penalty area towards the byline, fizzes across him, which the keeper can only parry behind for another corner. There's too much pace on it to keep hold of it. He tries to catch it, and he drops his catch behind the goal line for Notts' 4th corner of the afternoon, which I think they're going to try and take quickly. Again, it's quite a bizarre zonal marking system that for Crawley.
Well, you've never seen such an empty penalty area for two teams. You know, there's four Crawley defenders along the 6-yard line and 3 Notts attackers, and that's it. Nobody else is in the Crawley penalty area, obviously apart from their goalkeeper.
Notts keep it from that corner. It's with Crawley far side. Jones thought about a forward run, then just retreats. Crawley will run himself and then try and find it wide right to Adebayo, but not enough on it, not accurate enough, and now Will Wright can bring it clear for Crawley. O'Brien trying to block the run in the midfield, which he did well enough to get away with, to be honest, to Jim O'Brien there, because that's where the ball was trying to find Dan Horsey. And now that's a good ball in return towards McGoldrick. He wants to do it all on his own here, David McGoldrick. He's still got it. Edge of the D, on his right foot, can't quite get enough space for a shot. In the end, it just runs away from underneath his studs. And Crawley should be able to clear it from here on that far touchline. Back to Johnson, who does clear downfield.
Unfortunately, just caught in two minds, David McGoldrick there. He had the run of Aaron the man, which just caught his eye, and by the time he'd realised he didn't play it, the chance was gone.
Now here comes Jody Jones. Cross towards McGoldrick! Oh! Free kick given anyway. McGoldrick with a bit of a high fuss as he tried to volley it shoulder height or so. Crawley weren't happy in all of that because Aidan Baldwin, with quite a committed challenge, halfway inside the Crawley half, to the play, he's only just getting to his feet again, which is Dan Horsey, but play continued, and from that McGoldrick had that chance which went wide anyway, but a foul given by the referee, and it stays 1 apiece with just under 8 minutes until half time.
I think it was Lawrence Maguire, wasn't it, covering defender there as the ball was floated into the penalty area looking for David McGoldrick. You're right, he's gone with his foot. His foot's about shoulder height. You know, it was too far ahead of him to go with his head, but Maguire on the cover. So if McGoldrick had made contact with it, the referee had blown for a free kick anyway for dangerous play.
David McGoldrick was a captain of a side in an FA Cup quarter-final just 2.5 years ago when he was at Sheffield United, and he scored in a quarter-final for Sheffield United the season before when they lost to Arsenal. A lot of Cup pedigree smattered around the pitch in front of us. Ashby Hammond plays it long for Crawley towards this near side. Adebayo underneath it, heads on towards the man. He won't get there first. It's an up and under from Maguire, which Baldwin can head on. Again, Maguire is underneath that. Can take it down this time and have a little run with it. Then checks back to Kelly, who's always free in that midfield for Crawley. It's just a little bit deeper than everybody else. He's always free. And it's switched towards the far touchline. A good ball. Kellen Gordon takes it down, gives it infield to Johnson, who is robbed of the ball by Sam Austin, who sprints forward past halfway with it and lays it off to the right to Toby Adebayo. There's options in the box, but Adebayo can't quite beat his man. He'll committed early. He'll get the ball back here. Or the Notts wide man. Got one to try and beat at walking pace for a second, then puts an early cross in too close to the goalkeeper, who can keep hold of it, and it stays 1-1.
Disappointing cross there for Toby Adebayo, just far too close to the keeper, didn't get the bend on it, just trying to buy himself half a yard and whip it round the defender Cerula in front of him, but too straight a delivery, and a comfortable one for Luca Ashby-Hammond in the Crawley goal. 39 minutes on the clock. Notts County 1, Crawley 1.
Ashby-Hammond, the only sort of chosen change by Scott Lindsay. I think he prefers to have a cup goalkeeper and a league goalkeeper, because the other two changes were enforced through injury. So it's really as strong as it could be for Crawley, and pretty much as strong as it could be for Notts as well, other than the exception of Macaulay Langstaff, who is on the Notts bench of only 5. You can name 9 in the FA Cup. Notts can only name 5, one of which is a goalkeeper, and 2 of which are youngsters who have only played in, between them, maybe 5 or 6 games for Notts, if that, in fact. Stone goes long, not really anybody underneath it. Maguire can take it down on his neck almost there, and then now he's under pressure from McGoldrick, and Austin stopping the back pass. He goes down the line. Cerula can only knee it out of play, and Notts have done well there to press in a good position to win themselves a throw-in. O'Brien is a recipient of that throw to Macari, still inside the Crawley half, gives it back to O'Brien, has to turn it back first time to Baldwin. Down his near side to Adebayo, shoulders it back in the direction of McGoldrick, who again returns the pass down the line to Adebayo. First time cross towards the middle, towards Crawley, who goes down. Nothing given apart from a goal kick.
Well, there's cries there, similar to what we saw the other end about 10 minutes ago. Good play down this right-hand side. Link-up play between McGoldrick, got Adebayo in behind, down the right-hand side. His ball across, was looking for Dan Crawley. He was coming in. Travis Johnson, I think it was, just slightly on his shoulder. But as Lewis Macari did down the other end to Daniel Oso, he just gave him a little nudge, and as the ball bounced up off the surface, his header, he couldn't get in control on it. He got too much of a glancing contact, and it ended up going well wide. But that was a decent opportunity, decent bit of play by Notts down their attacking right-hand side.
Ball's forward towards Horsey, who keeps Crawley in possession but inside their own half. Now Kelly has it. Square from him. Oh, Glasman does well to just sidestep around a Notts man, but his pass is not the best, and they give it away. O'Brien with a very good forward ball to find Sam Austin, who's still going on his right foot. He wants to try and give it out towards Jody Jones. McGoldrick can find Jones, who's offside. Not really his fault, because he wanted the ball from Austin. Austin couldn't. Austin, I think, also wanted to give the ball to Jones. Couldn't quite have the space to do so. So the ball then finds McGoldrick, and he can find Jones. Jones is already long gone into that attacking position, and so he's offside.
Yeah, just a frustrating one when you see somebody who can see across the line. But you're right, he was looking for the ball from Sam Austin, who couldn't quite get it out of his feet quick enough. So you sort of make the run, you're stuck half a yard offside when David McGoldrick did actually play the ball to him. Unfortunately, Jody Jones on that inside left channel, the linesman's flag brought it all to a halt.
Game just almost petering out a little bit towards half-time. I think both sides will be quite happy for the half-time whistle now, regroup and go again, as Jones and Rawlinson keep Notts in possession inside their own half. Now Crawley halfway inside his own half. Back to Rawlinson again. Goes back to the keeper, Stone. The Baldwin is fouled off the ball and trying to block his man off. Stone's ball forward, again not too near any Notts player really, in all truth. So Crawley can comfortably have it back. Inside their own half they are, though. Now they cross halfway with Gladwin. Wide right from him to Gordon, former Mansfield man. Infield to Kelly just ahead of the halfway line. Let's get back into his own half for now. Maguire into Kelly once more inside the centre circle. O'Brien putting the press on him. On from him to Johnson, back to Kelly again. The return ball to Johnson is behind him, and it forces him to face their own goal for a second. He has to get back to the goalkeeper. But again, passes short to Kelly. He can turn it square around the corner to right, and that allows Crawley to try and bring the ball a bit further forward, which they do, as Kelly now brings it across halfway himself and gives it out wide left to Maguire. Cerula outside him. Maguire will continue for now and then give it out wide left to Nick Cerula on his right foot, gets a cross into the middle, which Baldwin heads away well towards halfway. Don't have the legs on it to reach halfway. McGoldrick does win the ball back though, and this might set Notts away. They want a foul to Crawley. They're not going to get one. McGoldrick does well to just lean off of a challenge and give it out wide left to Dan Crawley. He's running towards the penalty area. Crawley's still got a man down, but Notts continue with Jones. Cross comes into the middle, cleared away, not all that far. Austin wins it back on the edge of the D, and then lays it on towards O'Brien. Will try a first-time shot, which is skyward, comfortably over the top of the crossbar. It would have been controversial because Crawley thought McGoldrick had fouled Kelly. The referee allowed play to go on though.
No, and there was nothing doing as well. We saw that quite well down here. Yeah, the ball bounced up. David McGoldrick won the ball, but then his follow through just out-muscled Kelly. And Kelly felt the full force of him, but David McGoldrick too strong for him on that occasion. He's claiming that there was a high foot. So you've got to go for the ball. As long as you win the ball, then that's fine. He didn't follow through with his studs on Kelly. And he just out-muscled him, used his body and set Notts off on a counter-attack. Unfortunately, at the end of that, Jim O'Brien trying his luck from 25 yards. So always underneath it. Never troubling the Crawley goal away to our right. And as we approach 45 minutes on the clock, so the game has died down a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so in terms of goalmouth incident and attacking intent. Eyes will turn down to the fourth official to see how long we're going to have added time.
Indeed. Elsewhere in the FA Cup, Scarborough lead Forest Green by 1-0. Another potential upset. Fylde beating Sutton as well. We'll hear a rundown of all the half-time scores at half-time here, which will be in another 3 minutes' time. That's how long is on the fourth official's board, which is a fancier board than the League One is. Notts throw-in towards McGoldrick on halfway. He's got two so close to him and he can't escape both of them. And it's back to the goalkeeper, Ashby Hammond, who goes towards the right-hand side to Gladwin with a long searching ball downfield, which Rawlinson heads on. Baldwin, for a second, I thought Stone was going to come for it. Then Baldwin back passes to Stone. That's just played a bit longer than he would have done normally. Jones flicks it around the corner to Crawley, and Notts have done very well here from this position actually to now play it on towards the man, and wide right of him is Adebayo. Perfect ball, doesn't need to break stride. Toby Adebayo again tries an early cross, he gets it all wrong. It bounces almost in the Hayden Green family stand. It only bounces just short of the advertising hoardings behind it. In a very good position, Adebayo got that one all wrong. Yeah, it was good build-up play from Notts from one end to the other. They looked like they were boxed in at a point, but they managed to play their way out from one end to the other and release Toby Adebayo, who's got acres in front of him, got all the time in the world to pick out David McGoldrick in the middle. Unfortunately, really poor technique, really poor delivery. It goes 15 yards behind the dead ball line out for a goal kick, and what could have been a chance comes to nothing. Crawley win the header from the goal kick towards Orsi. Ball's been coming across and Rawlinson helps it back to Stone as well, and that's a ball go all the way across his own goal line. It was centimetres off of his own goal line before he launches it downfield. All the shot now 4-0 up at Swindon. Dear me. I thought it might have been about 7 or 8 by now, the way they started the game. They really took the foot off the pedal, haven't they, Aldershot? Kelly has it, minutes ago until half-time, halfway inside his own half. Now Maguire, as the darkness rolls in towards Meadow Lane. A bit of fog around as well. It's still cold, it's still windy. Still raining as well, I think. Just about see it. Stone finds Austin. Turns it around the corner for Jones. Crowning a lot of space if Jones can find him. Jones lets the ball run across him and does keep it in play, but that's just sort of a rusher, a ball forwards, which is not quite accurate enough, as Gordon then tries to cut inside of Rawlinson, who slides to ground, I think wins the ball. Referee agrees, and Rawlinson again then wins the ball and trying to get back to his feet. And now O'Brien can run clear with it. Is there one more chance in the half? Aaron the man has it just beyond halfway. Does well to turn away from one and then play it out to Adebayo wide right. This time the ball's got to be better. Adebayo, it is a better looking ball towards the back post, cleared away, only as far as Sam Austin. Back out wide right to Adebayo it comes. Last dying embers of the first half. In towards the penalty area. Now the man wide right is Austin. He'll try first time cross. Surely a handball. Surely a handball. Kelly's arms were up in the air and it hit them as he blocked the cross. Not too far away from the linesman. It's out for a corner. To me, that's a handball. What do you think, Stowe? I was going to say, it's a good shout for it, because you say his hands were up, but again, without VAR, you're relying on the officials. It could have come off the hand, but so there's no VAR to slow it down and give us a penalty. Either way, we'll take the corner from the attacking right-hand side. Can we nick a lead
before half-time.
Adamo chips it to the man. I think the referee's going to blow up, though he is. He let us take the corner, and then a second after the corner had been taken, then decides to play for half-time. He was well within his rights. We played 3.5 of 3 added on, but just play before the corner's taken.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you? But there we go. But I say 1-1 at half-time. Both teams going in. It's been an exciting first half hour. The last 15 minutes maybe petered out a little bit, but been a few mistakes from both teams. It's been quite an open game, and both teams playing very similar style, possession-based football. They try and press high, Crawley do. So if Notts can play through the lines, then they've had a little bit of success, a little bit of joy and space in wide areas. And it's just about that final quality ball. We've had one good ball in from Toby Adebayo that led to the goal, nod down from McGoldrick, put in by Dan Crawley for the equaliser. But then on other occasions when he's had time and space, the delivery not quite been good enough.
Well, I guess when the Fat Notts have conceded and fall behind within 3 minutes, you'd probably take being level at the break.
Of course they would, yeah. I mean, it was the worst possible start. Behind after 3 minutes, and then, in the next 10-15 minutes, Crawley had a couple of other chances, efforts at goal. Aidan Stone's had to make 2 or 3 saves. They've had a couple of efforts that have just gone wide of the post, and a couple of efforts where they could have done more from. So I think you'd have to say Crawley have had the better of that first half, by everybody's sort of measure. But thankfully, the scoreline says that it's 1-1, and Luke Williams maybe will have to have words with his team at half-time just to tidy things up a little bit.
Well, just behind the stats, and they agree exactly what you've just said, Stal. Notts have had 1 shot on target and 1 goal in that first half. Crawley have had 5 on target, and if it hadn't been for 2 or 3 very decent saves made in Stone, Crawley probably would find themselves in the lead at the break. Yeah,
absolutely. So very often the stats back up what I'm saying, but I don't mind that. But yeah, I mean, like I say, Luke Williams won't like it. I think Crawley have probably been the better team. But like I say, that's not to say Notts haven't looked dangerous when they've broken. Crawley they press high and they throw 4, 5, sometimes even 6 bodies, in a deliberate attempt to try and stop Notts playing through the lines. But when Notts can, with quality, then you've got this back and forth game, a flow to it, which, it's then down to the quality in and around the penalty area. Got to be said, Crawley have shown a little bit more of that in the first half. But as the game goes on, the openings might occur, and it's about which team can make the most of it.
Thank you, Mark Stallard. More from Stall in the second half, where Notts will look to get another goal, which will see them into round 2 for the first time since 2019. Crawley took an very early lead, 3 minutes or so before Dan Alsey fired them in front after the ball came back off the post, then back off the goalkeeper. But just 10 minutes later, Dan Crawley managing to find the back of the net from underneath the crossbar as McGoldrick pulled the ball back into his path, and that's all for the goals at half-time. You could say that at half-time it's Crawley 1, Crawley 1. David Jackson.
Someone had to say it. Adam, thank you very much indeed. Adam Hassel and Mark Stallard, your commentary team. Stall, you just wonder what Notts are going to need to do to get this over the line in the end.
Yeah, just a little bit of improvement in the final third with the quality of the final ball. But they've got to be so careful playing through the lines or playing from back to front. If they're playing over the lines, over the midfield press or over the high press, you've got to do it accurately. The times they've done that and they've been able to switch the play quickly is when they've got themselves in space in wide areas. It's just, again, that final ball.
All right, Mark Stallard, thank you very much. Stall and Adam back for the second half on BBC Radio Nottingham. We're a quarter of the way through the FA Cup football today on BBC Radio Nottingham. Remember, Mansfield playing Wrexham at 7:45 tonight. So we'll go off air from here at 6, and then you'll get an hour of The Beach with Dean Jackson. If you're listening on 95.5 FM, then from 7 you'll be able to listen to Match Night with Colin Fray, Jake Garner and Craig Armstrong calling that game for you. 95.5 FM and online then from 7:45. I'll run you through the other scores in the FA Cup and in the Premier League and Championship as well in just a moment. It's 4 minutes to 4.
On BBC iPlayer.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm Joel Dommett, and this is the most physically demanding and emotionally draining game on TV.
Right through the dirt! You've got this!
Who will outwit, outplay, and outlast the rest?
Do you think there is anyone I should be wary of?
We're all together, but the weakest has to go.
To become sole survivor.
I want to stay, I want to compete, and I want to win.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Match day.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Davy Jackson here at Meadow Lane. Very grey. We're not seeing any of the sky through the heavy grey cloud up above all day. The wind has somewhat died down, but when there is a breeze, blimey, as Adam mentioned, it is chilly. Other scores for you then in the first round of the FA Cup today. In the earlier kick-off, bit of a shock. League 2 Barrow, big win for them at League 1 Northampton, although admittedly the Cobblers are cobblers in League 1 so far this season, and they've lost 3-1 at home to Barrow today. Wimbledon are 2-0 up over Cheltenham. Alfreton will fancy their chances of getting through to the second round at home against Worthing. It's 0-0 at the break. Bolton lead Solihull Moors by 1-0. Bradford of League 2 are trailing League 1 Wickham at home by a couple of goals to 0. We said we'd keep you in touch with what happens to Whitby. Big game for them away at Bristol Rovers. They were level at 1-1 at one point, but they've gone in at half-time down in Bristol, 4-1 down. There are a whopping 4 divisions between those two, as there are between Cambridge and Bracknell Town. Cambridge going in at the break there, leading by 1-0. Chesham United are a goal down at home to Maidstone, so a big task ahead for the club, who have Alex Horn as a director, the taskmaster, creator and co-host. Chesham United 0, Maidstone 1. Chester against York in the battle of northern places you'd quite like to go for a weekend. That's 0-0. Curzon Ashton 0, Barnet 1. Doncaster 1, Accrington 0. Eastleigh lead Boreham Wood 3-1. Exeter against Wigan is goalless at half-time. Hereford 1-0 down at home to Gillingham. Leyton Orient lead Carlisle 1-0. Lincoln Morecambe's 1-1. Marine are losing at home to Harrogate, although only by 2-1, and they were level at 1-1 at one point as well. Newport lead Oldham 1-0. Oxford are 1-0 up over Maidenhead. They'd be expecting to go through. Peterborough 0, Salford 1. It's perhaps a little bit of a surprise on the cards. Port Vale 0, Burton 0. Ramsgate 1, Woking 1. Reading 1, MK Dons 1. Scarborough could be causing a shock against League 2 Forest Green. Scarborough 1, Forest Green 0. Shrewsbury Colchester is 1-1 at the break, as is Stevenage against Tranmere. Stockport 2, Worksop Town 1. First time Worksop, just to the north of Nottinghamshire, or technically just inside Nottinghamshire, is the first time they've been in this stage of the FA Cup. They're losing 2-1 at Stockport. Sutton United 0, Fylde 1. Yeovil are beating Gateshead 2-0, but the score of the first half is unquestionably, Adam has been keeping you in touch with this during the first half, Swindon 0, Aldershot 4. Utterly remarkable. In the Premier League, 3 o'clock kickoffs. Brentford 1, West Ham 2. Brentford had taken the lead through Neil Mopé. West Ham equalised and then took the lead through Jared Bowen. Burnley 0, Crystal Palace 1. Jeffrey Schlupp with the goal. Everton 1-0 up over Brighton. Mikalenko. Manchester City 3-0 up over Bournemouth, and the headline there is that Erling Haaland hasn't got any of them. Doku, Bernardo Silva and Akanji with the goals for Manchester City. 3-0 up over Bournemouth at the break. Sheffield United Wolves is 0-0. In the Championship, Birmingham lead high-flying Ipswich by 1-0. It's goalless between Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday. Huddersfield and Watford and Millwall Southampton. Plymouth lead Middlesbrough 2-1. Preston 2-1 up over Coventry. Rotherham QPR, Stoke Cardiff and Swansea Sunderland all 0-0, and West Brom 1, Hull 1. Earlier today in the Premier League, Manchester United 1-0 winners at Fulham. Late goals for Bruno Fernandes, who's been speaking to Jonathan Pearce.
Well, very well done. You had to wait until very late on in the game. Did you always believe that you could get the victory?
Yeah, and I think you can see it that in the goal, the belief of everyone trying to fight for that ball, to get the ball back. I think it was me, Scott, Belly, everyone was there fighting for the ball, and at the end we could get the ball. I could get the shot, and we get the goal and secure the 3 points.
There seemed to be an extra bounce in your step once you chased back with Paulinho and won that challenge just moments before you scored. Both of you came out smiling. It was a lovely moment.
No, of course, because before he said he hadn't touched me and he wanted a fall there, and I said to him, "You're a strong man, so you have to get up now because I'm skinny, you're not. You have 90 kilos. I'm a little bit less than that." So he's a good mate, someone I have played together in Sporting. He's playing with me in national team too. So I know he's a fighter. I know he's a great player. He likes this kind of challenge, and it was just about that.
Bruno Fernandes speaking with Jonathan Pearce. So we have more football for you tomorrow on BBC Radio Nottingham. Match day from 1 from the City Ground, Forest Villa in the Premier League. And tonight, match night from 7, coming live from the One Call Stadium, Mansfield against Wrexham. Stags already knocked out of the League Cup earlier this week, of course, beaten in the 4th round by Port Vale. Tonight, Nigel Clough putting his side up against Wrexham.
And they'll be well rested after the full 7 days or whatever. It'd be nice to not lose back to back. So we'll give it a good go.
When you look at the performances leading up to Tuesday night, you've certainly given it a good go. You've had so many shots and so many good situations. How important is it to get sort of Mansfield back to that after Tuesday night?
Well, we're going to try. It's one of these occasions where you wish you had got somebody about 4 leagues below you, at home in the FA Cup, and a slightly easier draw than one of the best teams. But it is what it is. We're out of one cup, let's not go out of both. We've still got the FL Trophy as well on the Tuesday afterwards, but the league still remains our priority.
Yeah. And he brought players back in, Steve McLaughlin and Rhys Oates, against Port Vale on Tuesday night. How crucial could they be going into the games going forward?
Oh, well, when you lose somebody of Lucas Akins as influence in the team and ability, it's very important. Then we've got Rhys Oates coming back. 30 minutes was about as much as he could do on Tuesday night, but delighted to get him back involved, and you see the threat that he posed as soon as he came on. Steve McLaughlin just working his way back. Really, it's next Tuesday against Everton where they'll start, but it's great having them back involved.
I was going to say, great squad players to have at this level with Rhys Oates, the pace that he generates, and we saw that against Port Vale. He certainly causes problems.
Yeah, he was inches away from getting his equaliser when he went clear and just tried to dink it over the goalkeeper. His touch just took him half a yard too far, but that threat we've been missing at times, so hopefully he can stay fit for the next few months.
You've already had one great cup run so far, leading Mansfield to the 4th round of the League Cup for the first time since the mid-70s. Fancy starting another one?
Yes, definitely, if we can. It's difficult to challenge on all fronts, as we have been for the last 19 games, and that's what we're incredibly proud of. It's been in all competitions. We'll give it a go in the FA Cup and the FL Trophy. They're the two that are left.
Yeah. How do you juggle that, the League and the FL Trophy and the FA Cup? Because the game is coming thick and fast. Saturday, Tuesdays, you've had a lot of injuries to contend with as well, but how do you sort of juggle all those competitions?
Pretty much how we have done the last couple of months, playing players where we need to, giving them a breather when we need to. Ideally, you'd like a clear week leading up to the FA Cup first round because it is such an important tie. We didn't get that, but hopefully having the players back will just give us a couple more options.
It's a night game as well, under the lights at the One Call. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, similar to, it was a great atmosphere against Port Vale. Our crowd, second half, really got behind us, and we're going to need it again on Saturday night.
Nigel Clough, Mansfield manager, speaking with Jake Garner. Jake will bring you commentary tonight on that game. Another all League Two affair, of course, but in the first round of the FA Cup. Kick-off 7:45 tonight, match night. Live from Mansfield from 7. Second half on the way here shortly with Notts 1-1 against Crawley. It's now 4:05.
I remember when my nephew was a lot younger, he came downstairs and had 2 vinyl records, and he went, "Dad, look at the size of these CDs."
The name of this podcast is Sidetracked, brought to you by myself, Annie McManus.
And myself, Nick Grimshaw. Basically, it's going to be me and Annie getting together to talk about the week in music. All the things that have got us really excited, be they brilliant or be they a bit rubbish.
I wanted to be silly and have fun.
Okay! That's the pitch.
Brand new Sidetracked with us, Annie and Nick. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Match day. BBC Radio Nottingham.
No sign of the players just yet, but it shouldn't be too long before Notts County and Crawley are out here for the second half, and I'm trying not to say the R word. Adam Hassel with the score at 1-1 at the break. We are hoping for a positive conclusion to this game within the 90 minutes, please.
Yes, I think that's probably the fair thing to say. I don't think that anyone would not mind it not going to a replay, shall we say. Yes.
That's the key then, just for Notts in this second half. And once they'd got that goal, you sensed that going forward they were getting into positions. It's just a case, as Stal was saying at the end of that first half, of just get that ball into the box properly and well, and surely there are goals in this game for them.
Absolutely. I mean, the ball into the box that the goal came from was from Toby Adebayo, and then since then he's had 3 or 4 that he's not quite got right, a couple that he's got completely wrong. So, but we know he's shown in the game he's got the quality, not getting into decent positions. And seeing quite a lot of the ballers would expect. Crawley like to play the same way, but not to definitely bossing the possession. So you feel as if there's definitely going to be a chance or two for them. It's just whether they can take it or not.
Are they going to bring Langstaff on, do you think, if they can't find a way through in 15, 20, 25 minutes?
Normally I'd say, why would you put him on the bench if you don't have the intention of putting him on? But then when you see there's only 5 on the bench, it's maybe slightly different. I don't think he would be there, a bit like Carl Cameron's not there today. I don't think he'd be there if he wasn't prepared, from Luke Williams to play him and from Langstaff himself to say that he wants to play and what have you, which I'm sure, of course, he definitely would. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him at some point, maybe not until maybe the final 15 or 20 though.
Yeah, that's the thing, Stal, isn't it? You, as a manager in this, you want the conclusion in 90 minutes, especially if you've got a few injuries around your squad. The last thing you need is another midweek game and a long trip too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's stating the obvious, but we've seen a couple of times Notts players go down in that first half, and you can almost feel a little bit of how bad is it? What's happened? Because we can't afford too many more injuries, if any at all. So certainly a replay. Neither team want it. No managers want it. We all talk about congestion in the fixture list and too many games and whatever, the workload for the players. But when Notts, as they are, starting to look a little bit thin on the ground in terms of numbers, they definitely don't want to replay.
Well, the Crawley players are back out, all in red, away to the left-hand side. You'll hear a cheer shortly, which won't be because Adam Hassel's about to start talking. It's because the Notts players will be coming out. Adam.
Thank you very much, Dave. I mean, I hope that you'll cheer at least.
Always,
yes. And here you go. Cheer.
Well, cue.
It's like we've been in it for years, Dave. Here come the Notts players all back out onto the pitch. Doesn't look as if either side are going to make a change based on my very quick count of both of the 11s, because I got to 11 for both of them. So, as you were, I think at least for the second half, which is 1 apiece at half-time between Notts and Crawley, first round of the FA Cup. The draw, by the way, is tomorrow afternoon. It's after whatever the game is that's on telly at lunchtime. I can't quite remember who that is now, but it's after that game. So it's about 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. At the minute, both these sides are in the draw. That's because we will have, as it stands, as I say, a lovely trip to West Sussex to look forward to, which I genuinely mean wholeheartedly.
Liar.
Notts will kick us off then in this second half. The last time a Notts player scored a hat-trick in the EFL, which of course, FA Cup of course, but that was against Crawley. It was Gary Thompson in a 5-3 victory in 2014, which is just, I've checked that thinking, well, surely that can't be right. but it is.
Yeah, well, let's hope there's another hat-trick somewhere around the corner. I know, you're right, not EFL today, but a hat-trick today you feel would see us over the line. But I mean, the game in the first half, certainly the first half hour of that first half, was that open. You could see goals every time either team attacked. Crawley had the better of it. It's down to Notts to try and impose themselves, playing towards the Kop in this second half. Down to Notts to try and impose their stamp on this game.
Notts do get us underway. On the opposite spectrum of hat-tricks, the last 5 games between Notts and Crawley have seen 5 Notts red cards, 4 in the last 3. Ben Barkley, remember him in 2019, Rob Milsom in 2018, and earlier, the previous season, 17-18, but also in 2018, Matty Virtue, and remember that Ross Fitzsimmons kick out when he had the ball in his hands inside his penalty area? That was also against Crawley. So there's a bit of history between these two sides. So they've only met 13 times competitively. Crawley have it at the minute, but Notts have won it back. With Austin and now Rawlinson back to Austin again, and he returns the pass once more to Rawlinson, who's in a bit of trouble here for a second. He's turning one way then the other, and he might well lose out in the end of it. The ball's on the ground. Rawlinson, what a bizarre event that was, and now there's a bit of absence between them as well, but play continues with Crawley having it inside the final third in a decent area wide right. It's with Thompson. Down the right-hand side it goes to Gordon. Fizzes across in towards the back post where Bakari gets just enough on it to take it away from Cerula, who was arriving behind him. Connor Rawlinson specifically, but Notts got themselves in a complete mess there in their left-back position.
Yeah, I mean, Connor, he's played that left side of the 3 a couple of occasions now, hasn't he? But it's not his preferred slot, and you don't want to see him near your own byline trying to dribble past a man-for-man mark or a man-for-man press. And eventually I think it was Kellen Gordon, one that got the better of him, took the ball off him and allowed Crawley to put a cross into the box. Thankfully, Notts able to defend it well enough at the back post.
We went downstairs to go and get a cup of tea at half-time, and when you come back up from being in a very warm press room, It is very cold, isn't it, this afternoon?
Yeah, it is the proper start of winter, so it feels, doesn't it, today? It's dropped a few degrees. It's a bleak, miserable day, but we've got an open game, an exciting game, and at 1-1, it's nicely poised, with both teams still absolutely in this.
Adebow flying into a challenge there, but nothing made of it by the Crawley man when he maybe could have done, and they cleared our fielders. A minute's applause begins as we enter the 47th minute for the Nottingham Panthers' number 47, Adam Johnson, who so sadly, tragically died a week ago in that freak accident on the ice in Sheffield. And Meadow Lane is on its feet to remember the Panthers' number 47 in the 47th minute. Everybody around us applauding, everybody around us on their feet in memory of Adam Johnson, who, as I said, so tragically and so sadly died a week ago. And Meadow Lane remembers. It was a very nice moment indeed.
Yeah, wonderful moment as well. Tragic event of last weekend, well remembered, but on the pitch, not in possession of the ball. Although David McGoldrick had just conceded a free kick, and then immediately Crawley looked to counter-attack.
They do. They play it quickly on towards his right hand side to Kellen Gordon, who tries an early cross towards the back post. Baldwin as well to slide in, and Stone just has to make sure it's going to not drop him. She doesn't. It lands on the roof of the net. But Baldwin had to get something on that, otherwise there would have been a free hit behind him for Dan Alsey. He's already got one in this game, and Baldwin did well to get something on it and take it up and over his own crossbar. Yeah, absolutely. An important interception, just looped up onto the roof of the net. First corner of the second half for Crawley from their attacking left-hand side. We had 3.5 minutes. They'd already scored by this time in the first half, so that's an improvement in the second half, you would say. And I think they haven't improved. Swindon 0, Aldershot 5 is the latest score in the FA Cup. Not much odds on Swindon 6-5 there, have you, really? No hope of a comeback. Here comes that corner from the Crawley left. It's in towards a very good area and put over the bar from inside a 6-yard box by Dan Alsey. That's a really good chance, and it didn't. Again, Aidan Stone, you just think for a second, is he going to come for that? He's well inside a 6-yard box. I was just about to say, I could tell it by the tone of your voice there, Adam, you're questioning why Aidan Stone is not off his line. It wasn't the case of the corners coming, he's got loads of bodies in front of him, as teams often do, piled on top of the keeper to stop him coming. It was whipped to the back post. Yes, there was pace on the ball, it wasn't a floaty one, but you'd like your keeper there to be just a yard or two off his line and come and maybe take the pressure off the defenders. Not so, just a half-yard off it at the start of this second half. They have won the ball back after O'Brien had lost it. Macari, the man who wins it back and sets it off towards Aaron, the man. It's a little bit ahead of him, but he'll just get there first and nip it past the player marking. Crawley, good ball towards McGoldrick. He's in behind, tries an early shot, which the keeper parries away to this near side. McGoldrick on the rebound. He's tight to the byline with it. Now Jones just completely sells his man a dummy. Back towards Crawley, edge of the box for Kerwan. Oh, what a save! What a save from the goalkeeper, Ashby Hammond. It was in for all the world from Dan Crawley once it left his right boot. Curling towards the very top corner, the postage stamp. And Ashby Hammond just somehow gets a fingertip to it to put it over the bar. Corner taken quickly, the man. And Adebayo over there. Adebayo trying to work half a yard of space to get a cross in. Can't do so to start with, but can give it back up the line to the man. Now Macari, good crossing position for the Stoke loanee, but he puts it well behind, well over. But it's just the fingertips of Luca Ashby Hammond that have kept this game at 1-1. Well, it's a wonderful bit of Notts attacking play. He makes a double save, Luca Ashby Hammond. The first one from David McGoldrick, a routine one. McGoldrick, the angle's against him from the edge of the penalty, or the corner of the penalty area, hits it hard with his left foot, straight at him, parries it back out. And then from the second phase of play, the ball gets pulled back to Jody Jones, who sets it up again from the corner of this inside left channel, corner of the penalty area. Dan Crawley, a break off as Crawley come forward. Again, they want a flag, they're not going to get it. Baldwin trying to recover. He's still going, the Crawley man, and Baldwin gets a foot on it, diving whilst already on the ground. It's not clear yet. It's still inside the penalty area, and this time it's Conor Rawlinson who slides in to stop Cerula's shot from being goal bound. But again, we thought the flag was going to... It was Lolos who ran through. The Notts players are furious with the linesman for the flag not going up. It looked as if it must have been offside. Lolos was so far ahead of the Notts defence. And Aidan Baldwin and Conor Rawlinson deserve immense credit for getting back to block. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, you're right. We're waiting for the flag to go up. He must have timed his run absolutely, inch perfectly, because he was 3 yards goal side of Notts' last defender, who's Aidan Baldwin, who worked his socks off to get back, managed to get back and get a timely block in, as did Conor Rawlinson.
and eventually goes out for this corner to Crawley.
We just take a shot and swing into the middle. He goes through everybody. He goes behind it, bounced through the 6-yard box. There's a couple of unmarked Crawley men in there. Neither of them can get a touch on it. And thankfully behind for a goal kick. And Notts going to make a change. They're going to bring on Ollie Tipton. And they're going to take off Toby Adebayo. What does that mean then, Stel?
I mean, that's an intro. That to me, with 7 minutes of the second half played, that might be something along the lines of he's had a knock, a bit of a niggle that he's mentioned at half-time and said, well, look, we'll give you 5 minutes, see if you can run it off or whatever. But Notts have made that change. It's either that or his previous cross was that bad that he's got the hook. But I say again, we're talking about a day where we don't want any more injuries for Notts players. We just keep an eye on Toby Adebayo. He's had to go off on the far side. He's going to have to walk all the way round. Didn't see anything obvious.
No, he's not. I wouldn't say he's limping around either. He's maybe taking his time slightly. And it's Aaron the man who now goes to wide right, and he's on the ball now in towards Austin, trying to return the ball. Good return towards the man, towards the back post, so it's headed up in the air, not very far away to Jones, who can't hit it on the volley. Can he try again? He'll find Crawley. He turns it around the corner again. They want a handball. Jones heads it on, and this time Ashton Hammond can claim inside his 6-yard box.
Well, that was an easier claim for Hammond in the end. A dangerous ball into an area nobody could really. It was bouncing awkwardly. Nobody could really get any contact on it. But to go back to that save. 3 minutes or so ago now from Luca Ashby-Hammond. The first one routine from McGoldrick. The second one, Dan Crowley's looked to bend it from the left-hand edge of the penalty area in the far corner. We're behind it all the way in the Pavey stand, and it looks for all the world like it's going to nestle in the far side netting. And Luca Ashby-Hammond at full stretch gets fingertips to it. A wonderful, wonderful save.
So it's Aaron the man to where Adebayo was wide right. Ollie Tipton goes into the middle. When Sam Austin moves forward alongside Dan Crowley or behind McGoldrick. That's how Notts are for now. The ball's back with Aidan Stone. There's been another goal at the county ground. Swindon 0, Aldershot 6.
I'm going to say that one's dead and buried then.
Wow.
Well, that is a surprise. But that's what can happen in the FA Cup. You talk about upsets. It's not a massive upset, is it? Aldershot just a division below. But when you get beat 6-0, yeah. That is a result where you get a lower league team coming to your place, and if you are not right, that is what can happen.
That applause is because you can hear because Toby Adebayo is only just making his way back toward the dugout now. I think that's because he stopped to take a photo with everybody that could possibly want one along the way. He's always been that kind of guy anyway, but he's stopping for a photo with everybody along the way. He's still probably 40 yards off of getting back to the dugout, bless him.
Yep, doing his meet and greet and his PR circuit early. Hopefully that means he's not rushing round, because the physio would want him to get some ice on something or whatever. So hopefully that means there isn't an injury. It is just a little bit of a positional change, is it? So Aaron the man has now gone into his more normal or accustomed right wing back role. Ollie Tipton's gone on in the middle of the park alongside Jim O'Brien, and as you mentioned, Sam Austin's pushed further forward alongside Dan Crowley, just in behind David McGoldrick.
Baldwin on the ball halfway inside his own half. Tipton square of him for his first touch since he's come on. Rawlinson nearly sells him short, and Tipton has to scamper to get there first, which he does. His ball forward a little bit aimless, but he just had to get the ball away. And now here can come Crawley, but Tipton does well to block the ball forward. Jones just about manages the second or third time asking him taking the ball down. Will then try and run around the outside of his man, just shouldered into him to lean him away, and win Notts a throw in right in front of us, just ahead of the halfway line.
Yeah, I'd like to see Notts try and get the ball to Jody Jones earlier, a bit quicker. We've not seen too much of him in this game in an attacking sense. But if Notts can get him, you know the sort of danger he possesses, the quality that he's got. Maybe him and the man now on the wings can be an outlet.
What a ball, bending ball with the fine diagonal. The man into the middle it comes. It's cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box towards the far side. O'Brien trying to win it back, and he's going to concede a free kick, which is a very soft one up against Nick Cerula. And the referee not happy with how quickly Crawley took the free kick. So now to go back and take it again. But that 60-70 yard diagonal for Maiden Baldwin. Yellow card for Jim O'Brien and all of that as well. I think that's for complaining too vividly, shall we say, with the referee and with the lines on that far side.
Yeah, I mean, it is a frustrating one, that, because it's a lovely switch of play to Aaron the man, who chests it goal side out on that right hand side and gets goal side of his defender, who's tugging at his arm, tugging at his sleeve, trying to get him back. The man stays on his feet, delivers the cross, which is cut out. and then immediately it falls to a Crawley player who goes down, shall we say, softly up against Jim O'Brien, and Jim O'Brien gives the linesman a piece of his mind, and as we know, you can't do that nowadays, and Jim becomes the first player in the book in the game today.
Kellen Gordon will get there first on this near side to put a ball into the middle. Rawlinson with a back pass on the edge of the 6-yard box. Back to Aidan Stone. It works in the end. The ball from Stone not the best, as a firework is set off over on the behind the Jimmy Cyril stand away from us. And now Crawley won it back again. Edge of the penalty area. Can they work the opening for a shot? It's with Kelly. He now has to go wide right to Johnson. Got an option ahead of him down the line. That's Gordon. Space for a cross. Into the middle it comes. Baldwin heads it away. Austin is there on the edge of the D, and he's surely being fouled. He is. And again, that makes the Crawley's captain, he's not captain, sorry, but Liam Kelly in that midfield, very angry. And if O'Brien gets booked for that sort of thing, then why is he not? Anyway, good ball forward, finds Tipton in a bit of space, and now Crawley has it. Not's got bodies forward here. Crawley towards McGoldrick. He'll get there first. He's through on goal onto his right foot.
Oh, what a goal!
It's a great goal from David McGoldrick. He was second favourite, but he got there in between a couple. He works the space. He cuts back on his right foot when he could have shot it again, and then just passes the ball into the very far corner. A perfect goal in so many ways. Notts 2, Crawley 1.
Well, that's an unbelievable goal, and I'm going to give you, for those that are old enough, images of Ricky Villa at Wembley years ago. It's a wonderful, wonderful footwork from David McGoldrick. Dan Crawley releases him on the inside left channel, just in the inside, well, just outside the left-hand edge of the penalty area, and he's got 2 or 3 Crawley defenders tightly around him, and he shifts it one way, he shifts it another way, he gets in between 2. He could have pulled the trigger. He sells one final dummy to the covering Crawley defender and gets to about 8 yards out in front of goal and just rolls it calmly, as you like, into the far corner. Just wonderful, wonderful individual skill from David McGoldrick. Composure, I must admit, I thought he was in an offside position when he received the ball. The linesman flag didn't go up, but just absolutely wonderful bit of skill that has given Notts the lead. Notts County 2, Crawley 1.
And thankfully it didn't go up, because it would have spoilt us being able to see that. Just a brilliant goal, just showing the class he's got, which is so far above this level, which is of no insult to anybody on this pitch. It's just a compliment to him. So good. Here come Crawley though on that far side. The goal I'll tell you about in a second of interest. It's with Cyril. He does well to work across, which Baldwin can volley away. I'll very quickly tell you that Aldershot have got a 7th. Swindon 0, Aldershot 7.
Wow. And for you, Adam, and people of your age, Ricky Villa, I'll explain about him later.
Crawley throwing 20 yards up from the corner flag. Looked like a foul throw. Nothing was given by the referee. It's now with Lolos. He gets the ball back, sort of on the cusp of the final third. Now Gladwin, halfway inside the Notts half, gets it square to Kelly. On again from him to Maguire, who's finding a ball out wide left to Cyril. Got Naman to try and run at, puts a cross in, which is far too close to the goalkeeper, who can happily claim and then roll out in one to Jody Jones. Can Notts get forward quickly? Jones switches it towards McGoldrick. It's headed not really away, but it finds Kelly rather than McGoldrick does that header as we pass the hour mark. Notts 2, Crawley 1 at Meadow Lane, FA Cup first round in match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. A reminder that later this evening, match night from the one call, Mansfield against Wrexham. Here comes Cyril again. He's running around the outside of the man. He brings him down right on the edge of the box. Right on the edge of the box. It was Cyril and the man both ended up well inside the penalty area. And the man, I think, deservedly sees a yellow card for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good play. Cyril has been impressive. In his 61 minutes on the clock, he's probably been Crawley's most impressive player down that left-hand side. He's got a trick. He's looked to get forward at every opportunity, looked to create problems, and a lot of their good stuff has come through him. Gets the goal side of Aaron. The man attacks the edge of the penalty area, and the man just clips his heels about a yard outside that left-hand edge of the Notts penalty area. Free kick to Crawley. That's 6 yards up from the byline, and Aaron the man becomes the second Notts man in the referee's notebook.
Free kick is 6 yards up from the byline, and it's a yard or two to the left of the penalty area. Two-man wall. Crowley, Naman. 2 men over the Crawley free kick. Kelly looks like his favourite for it with the right foot. It is him into the middle over everybody and out for a goal kick. Got a lot of pace on it, but not enough accuracy.
Yeah, you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get some blocking the runs in the middle of the box and get Maguire running round the back post beyond everybody, deeper than everybody. Fortunately for Notts, Kelly put too much pace on the cross, just didn't get their timings right, and the ball goes out of play before Maguire can get there.
Goal kick then for Stone to take. All game, Crawley have put 2 attackers so far forward that they've not allowed what's now the sort of traditional Notts short goal kick to be taken. On that occasion, Stone could roll it to Baldwin, but only if the Baldwin then immediately launched downfield. They win the second ball and then also win a free kick, even though they kept possession, which they get on with quickly. Jones has it inside his own half, square to Tipton, who returns the pass nicely to Jones on halfway. Little back heel, probably not the best position to do that in, and Tipton then fouls his man Gordon to win Crawley a free kick on halfway. Signed for Mansfield in January, did Kellen Gordon, and there you might have heard on the radio. He's on the ball now. Crawley allowing him to bring the ball forwards. The ball and deflects off of Jones. Back heel finds the overlapping run of Adam Campbell, who came on, by the way, for Crawley after Notts' second goal. Missed that one. Adam Campbell, a former Notts man, of course. A few FA Cup goals whilst at Notts as well. And the Geordie Messi he was referred to, and then we signed Kyle Roberts. We took that nickname off him. Here is Adam Campbell. Wide right to Gordon. Got one to try and beat. A few step overs. Whips in across, which is over everybody. And there's been a lot of that today from both sides. Getting into the final third, good position. And the final ball not just being a little bit wayward, but being completely off the money.
Yeah, absolutely. And it must be catchy, because quite a bit of it has been in that right-hand area between the Hayden Green family stand and the Pavis stand there. The right back there, Kellen Gordon, doing well. Little step over, buys himself a yard, but his cross sails out beyond the far post, out for a goal kick to Notts. Baldwin again lumps it downfield after that sort of tapped goal kick short from Stone, but that meant that McGoldrick was offside, which he wouldn't have been if Stone had played the ball forward, because of course you can't be offside from a goal kick. And so it means that Crawley very comfortably have the ball back on halfway on the far side. It's with Lolos, who can turn and have a bit of a run forward with it, trying to cut inside of O'Brien, which he does. Good position for a shot. He then cuts inside of another, which is the man on towards the outside. Ball comes in from Cerula towards the back post over everybody. Campbell will scamper to try and retrieve, will not get there ahead of Dan Crowley, who's not got much space to keep Notts in possession and try and clear the ball. Now running into the penalty area, passing it to Baldwin. He returns the ball to him, to Dan Crowley inside the 6-yard box. He then pass out to Aaron the man, and that is just fantastic from Notts. So high risk, but such high reward as well. And now here they come with Jody Jones past halfway. What a goal this will be if they can get a goal at the end of it. Jones wide left, trying to make room for a cross. Has to then check back to Rawlinson, who's halfway inside the Crawley half. He just stops the ball with his studs for a second. And has to go back to O'Brien, who runs onto this near side with it, around the outside of Lolos, who commits to ground, doesn't win the ball, but Jones has it. He'll now try and run Lolos, and he does make it look very easy to Jody Jones inside the penalty area, now towards Crowley. Can he get a shot in? He can. It's blocked only as far as Conor Rawlinson. A few shouts of shoot. I don't think he will. He won't. He'll find it on instead to Austin. Now O'Brien. Austin again, halfway inside the Crawley half, trying to play one in behind for Aaron. The man is cut out, and Crawley can bring the ball forward, but just well, maybe not just yet, Stel, because here come Crawley on towards Gordon, wide right, in a good position. Tipton is dragged out to try and stop him. Gordon does get a cross in, which Stone gets something on, and not enough, and it's into the back of the net. It's the equaliser. It's Dan Orrs with his second of the game. Stone came a long way out of his goal, sliding along the floor to try and get something on it. He couldn't do so, and Orsi reacts quickest at the back stick to tap it into what is then an empty net, and bring the game level once again. 66 on the clock. It's Notts 2, Crawley 2. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the equaliser there. The game had just got a bit stretchy. It got a bit end to end. We've just seen Notts attacking down one end, then Crawley looked to break down the other. And we've mentioned about the quality of balls in from the right-hand side haven't been great, but on this occasion the ball was just into that good channel, about on the 6-yard box. Aidan Stone opts to come for it. And if you make that decision, you know, even though it's low, he's dived forward, he's not got anything on it, bounces past him, and then it Horsey at the far post just got goal side. It's almost hit him really around the thigh area, knee area, but because Stones opted to try and cut out the cross and doesn't do that, there's an open goal for him to almost knee the ball over the line and into. Again, decision making, we talk about it all over the pitch. Goalkeepers as much as outfield players have them decisions to make. Aidan Stone there, you've got to question it. If he gets there and wins the ball, it's the right decision. Because he doesn't, you have to say he's made the wrong decision, and Horsey gets his and his team's second, and we're back on level terms at Notts 2, Crawley 2.
He probably slid, in the end 10 yards out of his goal there, Aidan Stone, which is just quite peculiar when he's not come for crosses, which have been very comfortably inside his 6-yard box. But it's 2-2 on the day, and Notts have got to try and find the lead once more as Tipton commits in the midfield, doesn't win the ball. O'Brien commits and does win the ball, and then also a free kick. Again, Liam Kelly is reacting in the referee's face, and I think, well, the referee's now going to call him across. He's got to book him, surely. I think he is going to book him.
Well, he's going to book him this time, but he's done exactly the same as he did 5 minutes ago. And if I'm Liam Kelly, I'm saying to the referee, hold on a minute, it wasn't a booking for me 5 minutes ago. Why is it now? It's certainly not the totting up process. But arguably, the other side of that coin is he could have been booked before and sent off that time. But either way, eventually, Liam Kelly finds his way into the referee's notebook for a poor reaction to a free kick being given to Notts.
Referee's looking across this near side. Macaulay Langstaff's about to come on for Notts, which I think is as big a sign as any that the Notts want to win this. They want to win it in, I'm going to say normal time, but what I mean is they don't want to have to go through a replay. It's Jim O'Brien who's going to come off for Macaulay Langstaff to come on, so I think that'll mean that Austin drops back to where he started, McGoldrick drops back alongside Crawley, and Langstaff leads the line.
Yeah, I think you would imagine that it goes back to the familiar front three that Notts usually have, although David McGoldrick's waiting for some instruction. Maybe he's staying up and playing as a 2. There's some finger pointing go on. It's a free kick to Notts anyway on the halfway line. Macaulay Langstaff's on, Jim O'Brien comes off, and we'll update you on the formation changes when we can see what they're doing.
Baldwin with a good-looking ball forward. McGoldrick in sort of an intelligent back header, but Jones had ran forwards and McGoldrick headed behind where he was, and so he goes for a Crawley throw. 69 minutes on the clock. It's Notts 2, Crawley 2. Very much in the balance as Tipton finds Austin, who's hounded out by a gaggle of Crawley players all at once there. But the ball forward isn't the best, and the man he's there does very well to just shimmy one way then the other to escape that challenge, and he can then give it back to goalkeeper Stone. We'll have to go along with it this time, up towards McGoldrick on halfway, who was just leaned into to try to challenge for the header. Baldwin then wins the challenge in the other direction. Crawley leaves a leg in on Dan Horsey, who was looking for it slightly, but I think there was a foul there, and then Aidan Baldwin kicks the ball away, which is a soft yellow card, but as correct a yellow card as you're going to get. Very frustrating, that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, players have got to learn this. You know, referees have been largely upholding them laws that, you know, you kick the ball anywhere. Once a free kick's been given, you're going to get booked, and Aidan Baldwin doesn't adhere to that, kicks the ball and does get the yellow card, so he becomes the third Notts player to have been booked, just Liam Kelly from the visitors.
Gladwin thought about taking a short one, he does, but in the other direction to what I thought, and now it comes wide right to Kellen Gordon. He crossed the ball which the goal came from. He's got one to try and beat, which is Jody Jones. He beats him with the ball in towards the back post, which is very well defended by Aidan Baldwin. He was second favourite but got there first. McGoldrick can't get there first on that far side. He'll try and win the ball back off Cerula, but Cerula's turned him and then runs him. Infield, he comes toward the penalty area. Tipton stands him up, and Gordon with a shot, which I think he should do better with. 7 or 8 yards out on his left foot. He puts it over the bar.
Well, again, it's that man Cerula on the left-hand side, just turning away from David McGoldrick, getting inside the Notts penalty area. And how often we've seen that from a Notts perspective? One wing-back crossing to the back post, the other wing-back getting on the end of it. This time from Crawley, it's the left wing-back Cerula crossing low to Kellen Gordon, about near the penalty spot, 12 yards out, and on his left foot, and thankfully wayward with his finishing.
Stone goes long. Again looking for McGoldrick. Gladwin will head it away towards the midfield where Lolos is there first. He can find Adam Campbell, who can have a bit of a run. And he's still going, is Campbell, and he's still going inside the penalty area. Rawlinson gets a foot in, and that just puts the ball out for a corner kick. Crawley's fifth of the game, but Campbell's allowed to pick the ball up from halfway and just run with it.
That's it, a direct, not offered him a gap to go into. Nobody closed it down, thinking he might just turn out, think he was running down a dead end. He just kept going and going on that inside right channel eventually. Colin Rawlinson having to get a toe in, conceding the corner, which Crawley will take from their attacking right-hand side.
Right is the man to take it. Had got a short option in Gladwin, but I think he's going to put this one into the box. Now that short option of Gladwin trots away. Right-footed from the right-hand side. Does then take it short to Gordon, who's appeared from nowhere. First time cross towards the middle. Shot blocked from Tipton. Jones wins the header, but Campbell will react quickest. Out wide right to Gordon once again. He's put in some dangerous deliveries. That's another one which Baldwin heads clear to find Tipton. And cannot break from here. Tipton trying to find it on towards the man. Heads it into the path of Langstaff. And maybe not are going to be away here. Look at them moving left and right. He goes right to Sam Austin, who's in line with the penalty area far side. Crawley now got numbers back. Austin pulls it back to McGoldrick. He tries an early cross towards the back post towards Jones. Oh, the keeper just gets enough on it. Not too dissimilar to the Crawley equaliser. The goalkeeper just got enough on it to stop Jones getting there behind him for what would have then also been an open goal.
And they should see the fine margins. Yeah, decision making. He comes to get it. Comes a long way, Ashby Hammond, but gets fingertips enough on it to take it away from Jody Jones. But such small margins, football matches can be decided on.
17 minutes to go. Doesn't feel like it's going to stay at 2-2. Austin tries a cross into the middle towards McGoldrick. It's over him towards the edge of the box, where actually it'll find a Crawley man. That man is Lolos, and he can turn and run with it. This game is so open, it's stretched at the minute. Well, it's just calms things down for a second. It's now with Kelly, who's still inside his own half, allowing everybody to get back into position. Just try and calm the game down again. Well, we're back now, in fact, to the goalkeeper, Ashby Hammond. Inside his penalty area, goes short to Johnson. And then Ashby Hammond this time goes long towards the far side, chested down by Maguire. Back from him to right. And then he tries a long diagonal ball towards his near side, which Gordon gets the first. That's got to be a handball, nothing given. Cullen Gordon kept the ball in play by using his hand to keep it in play, but wasn't seen by the linesman, who was blindsided but 5 yards away. And Crawley still have it. They try another long ball, which will run through towards Aidan Stone. 74 minutes played, still 2 apiece. Tipton on the ball. Has to go back to Stone. He has to go long this time with it towards the far touchline, towards the man. Loses out in the air. Second ball bounces for Tipton. It's a difficult one to control, and in doing so he allows a Crawley man back in. There's then a bit of afters on the floor between the pair of them, which is deemed as Tipton the aggressor. So Crawley have a free kick just ahead of halfway, which they get on with to Gladwin. Gladwin running forwards with the ball. McGoldrick getting something on it, just enough between him and Tipton to stop Gladwin's run forward. And now here come Knox. It's with Dan Crowley, crosses halfway with it. Jones outside of him. Crowley turns infield, does well to escape one. Then wide left is Jones, in line with the penalty area. Can he get a cross in towards the back post? It's a very good looking ball, which Maguire has to stoop and head up and over, then crossbar and out for a Knox corner.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball from Jody Jones. Takes the goalkeeper out of it, dipping, swirling ball to the back post. Really good covering, defending, turning it behind. But it's a corner to Knox from their attacking right-hand side.
Austin short to the man. Now it's up the line to Macari. Baldwin and him exchange a couple more passes. It's switched across to Tipton, who's the deepest outfield Knox player, but he's 5 yards inside the Crawley half. Now Crowley. McGoldrick trying to make a forward run between the lines. He gets it in a good position, pulls it across for Langstaff! And Knox are back in front again. McCoy Langstaff's only been on 5 minutes or so. Such intelligent forward play again from McGoldrick to find that space in behind for a pass to come his way, and he just lays it on a plate across the 6-yard line for Langstaff, who slides in at stretch and puts it into the back of the net. Notts lead again, it's 3-2.
Well, that is a fantastic goal by Notts, and it's an absolute blueprint for why Notts take short corners and don't throw it in. The corner was from Notts attacking right. They play it short, as they do, come back almost towards the halfway line and then across the pitch. And Dan Crowley picks the ball up eventually in space, in that pocket of space, halfway inside the Crawley half, and he's no one near him, and he can turn. David McGoldrick peels down the inside left channel, receives that ball, and then he's got the intelligence and the quality to get his head up and just play it across in that corridor of uncertainty, across the 6-yard box. and there's Macaulay Langstaff 3 yards out, diving in at the far post, getting a toe on it, turning it into that goal. Although there are about 7 or 8 passes to it, that is a set-piece goal for Notts, and it's a brilliantly worked set-piece goal from that corner.
Yeah, absolutely. 76.5 on the clock. Notts 3, Crawley 2. As McGoldrick does ever so well to slide in and win the ball back. Can he get the pass on the return? He can't, but Kelly can only put it out for a Notts throw. 25 yards up from the corner flag. Jones the man to take. Langstaff's last FA Cup goal came for Gateshead at Altrincham. A few seasons ago they won that game. In a 3-2 win, he scored here to put Notts 3-2 in the lead. Back towards Crawley, who has fouled. He has fouled Adam Campbell there, I think. There's quite a few groans around us. And Crawley have a free kick right back area. Ashby Hammond comes out of his goal to take it. Both sides are led at points of this game. It's seesawed back and forth from the very start when Dan Horsey put Crawley in the lead just 3 minutes into the game. It's a very low free kick which Kelly miscontrols, and Langstaff can win back, and he's done ever so well to wriggle away from a couple and then play a ball looking for McGoldrick, who was just for the first time all match on his heels rather than on his toes. And so Crawley can clear through Gordon downfield, where Tipton wins the ball in the air towards Langstaff again. It runs past him and Kelly. Favourably for Crawley on that far side. Now they'll come. It's with Sarula. Maguire on the overlap. Sarula just walking forward with it for now. Back from him to right. Still have it to Crawley inside the Notts half. The Swindon fight back is on. It's 7-2 now.
They're going to win 8-7. What price for that?
Here's Gordon. Back into his own half to Johnson. Now Campbell back to Johnson again inside his own half. Notts doing well to not really allow Crawley to come forward with the ball. They have to go long with it this time. A bit aimless, a bit hard, all the way through to Aidan Stone. He will take his time before picking the ball up and just running that clock down ever so slightly. Well, there's now 11 minutes to go. 11 minutes between Notts and the second round of the FA Cup for the first time since 2019. McGoldrick wins the header. It's cleared up in the air where Gordon heads in field to Campbell. He doesn't look like he's been injured for a long time. He looks very lively. Baldwin does well and then wins a free kick up against Clady Lolos, who again, I mean, he throws a sort of fist in frustration, which is sort of aimed towards the linesman as a gesture, and the referee not quite being consistent enough for me to be happy about it, I think.
No, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. If they're going to give yellow cards for that, which the laws say you can do, reactions like that to free kicks and fouls towards the officials, then it's a yellow card. But it's been a yellow card on 2 occasions and not a yellow card on 3 other occasions.
That's a short pass, and Crawley and Campbell comes out on top. Shot comes in, which is just wide of Stone's right-hand post from Horsey, who's on a hat-trick. It was a loose pass from Baldwin in towards Crawley. Campbell won it, played it on towards Horsey, who from the edge of the box fires one towards goal, and Stone was beaten. Thankfully, it didn't go in at that back post, and it stays 3-2.
Yeah, that was inches wide of that far post. We were almost directly behind the trajectory of that. Horsey from 25 yards again, not just a little bit sloppy again with this greasy surface. You misplace a pass, have a bit of a heavy touch, it allows Crawley to be on top of you, and they've pressed really well.
Great football. McGoldrick finds Austin, first time cross is sliding, good defending, cleared downfield where Rawlinson beats Gordon to the ball in the air. Now it's with Crawley. He can't quite cut back onto his right foot, and so Crawley can bring it forwards. Tipton does very well to not just halt the attack but keep Notts in possession now with Jones. He's got 2 to try and beat. He beats them both with the ball. Langstaff at the back post. Couldn't put it in. The ball came in from Jones with so much pace. It hit, I think, the right knee of Langstaff. Couldn't quite react quickly enough to get a foot on it. And he sends it wide.
Right, another real dangerous ball across the face. A goal by Jody Jones. He's fired it though this time. Really struck it with power with his laces. Macaulay Langstaff trying to get in round the back post again. It just came at him at an awkward height, wasn't it? About waist height. Couldn't really adjust his body with the pace on the ball. Gets a contact on it, but not enough to turn it goalwards.
As Ashby Hammond trying to find Gordon, and it just runs well past him and out for a Notts throw. It's not really a huge surprise that Crawley have had a few of those moments of losing their, not losing their heads as such, but showing frustration, because they've given away the second least fouls in the league this season, but have had the most yellow cards. So they must have had a few yellow cards, that sort of thing. Here come Notts. Macari finding the man. Early cross towards the middle, headed up in the air towards the edge of the box, where Campbell helps it on its way to Gordon, and it's actually a good header to try and set Gordon away. Jones stands him up very well, puts it out for a Crawley throw, then goes to ground. A little bit petulant between a pair of them. Play continues with Horsey trying to return the pass to Gordon. Too much on it. Baldwin can just take his time. He'll get there first quite comfortably. In fact, he'll just leave it for Aidan Stone to run across and pick up inside his penalty area. 8 minutes to go. Notts 3, Crawley 2. Crawley on the ball on halfway. Running toward his own goal at the minute. Gives it square to Macari. Campbell left on him a little bit, but play continues. Crawley on the ball again. Now Rawlinson. Bit of a heavy touch. He'll get away with it. Play it square to Macari. All this still inside the Notts half. Down the line to Naman. Keeps it in play. Tries a little flick, which doesn't quite work, but the ball does ricochet into the path of Austin, who's also running towards his own goal, and gives it to the goalkeeper Aidan Stone. Takes a touch, or two, or three, and then goes long. Maguire will happily head that one away. Austin can take it down on the chest and find the man again. Infield from him to Langstaff, a little bit short. Just allows Wright to slide in and then get on the end of a 1-2. Can Will Rice. He's still going forwards with it towards the edge of the box. He slides to ground, and that allows Rawlinson to clear the ball towards Jody Jones. The game is just wide open at the minute. Notts could really do with the fourth goal. Can they get it here? Jones to Crawley. 20 yards from goal. Finds Langstaff edge of the box. His shot takes a deflection, and that does run behind. And it is spotted by the linesman, to his credit, who kept it initially to Ashby Hammond, but then it just ran out of his hands and out for another Notts corner.
Yeah, you're right. This game is really stretched now. Crawley throwing bodies forward. Obviously, it's a cup game. They're 3-2 behind. Throwing bodies forward, trying to get an equaliser. As a result of that, Notts could try and break on the counter-attack. Eventually, Macaulay Langstaff shot from the inside left edge of the penalty area. Blocked off the defender. Ashby Hammond did all he could to try and prevent the corner. Couldn't do it. It will be a corner to Notts from their attacking left when play resumes, but we've got a couple of substitutions.
Indeed, a double Notts change. Dan Crawley is going off for Madhu Cisse, and Charlie Gill is the other one to come on. Not too sure who that's going to be for yet. As the board is only about to go up now, it's going to be for Aaron Naman. I'll let you work out what that means.
Well, I would imagine Madhu Cisse is the one who's going to replace Naman on the right as right wing back. I imagine Charlie Gill would just play in one of them slightly withdrawn roles we've seen him play when he's made his little cameos before in the cup games, just alongside David McGoldrick in behind Macaulay Langstaff.
Dan Crawley, who got Notts' equaliser after 13 minutes. Notts 3, Crawley 2, and Notts have a corner. Cisse and Gill, the two youngsters, are on. Naman and Crawley are off, and that's all the changes Notts can make. Made now, anyone left on the bench anyway, is the goalkeeper Sam Slocum. Jones on the corner. McGoldrick comes short, it's into the middle, headed clear on the edge of the 6-yard box, runs through a couple of bodies, where Tipton's putting some pressure on to try and win the ball back, and does so very well, and then finds Langstaff, who can let it run. Can he? No, on his right foot. Maybe should let it run towards Charlie Gill, who will recover the ball though. Now Austin, down the right hand side is Cisse, bright orange boot. Cisse, good looking ball in along the ground, cleared away the edge of the 6-yard box, trying to win the ball back, does so, but concedes a free kick in doing so, and Crawley have a free kick inside their own penalty area.
In the last 5 minutes of normal time, I think Crawley just ready in a substitution of their own. Not made any changes yet. Scott Lindsay, 5 minutes to go. Is this the kitchen sink coming on from the bench?
Adi Yema about to come on. Of course, Adam Campbell came on earlier on. I'm pleased that you missed that as well, Stal, because I missed it when it happened.
Oh well.
He came on after Notts got their second goal.
Just not made a note of it on me yet. Oh well. Ignore things I say. People do anyway, don't they? Nobody listens to them.
3,952 inside Meadow Lane, 271 made that long trip from Crawley. Here comes Kellen Gordon, digs out a cross which hits Jody Jones. I said earlier on, it's such a cold day that when a ball hits you like that, it's going to really sting, which that one does. I think it also hit him in not a particularly nice place to get a ball hit you, particularly even more so on a cold afternoon.
Absolutely, one of them funny for everyone else apart from the person who it hits.
that Crawley change sees Nick Cerula come off, actually, which is a bit of a surprise for Adi Adeyemo. Left wing back off, centre forward on.
Yeah, I think that's obviously just to allow them to change the shape a little bit. They've got 3 centre forwards on the pitch now. You think they'll go a 4-3-3 potentially, and just say kitchen sink time. 86.5 minutes on the scoreboard. Yeah, not having to defend a long throw,
which is thrown in from right towards the middle. Good looking throw in, because it's a dangerous one, which is just ushered behind for another throw in. First time I've actually seen a long throw from Crawley in this game. A right will try again, which is actually taken short this time. McGoldrick is across, Sam Austin is as well. It's with Lolos, who lays it off to Gordon, trying to make room for a cross on his left foot. Bends one in towards the back post. Cisse gets a header to put it behind and out of danger immediately for a Crawley corner with 3 to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Will Wright with a long throw. He'll now have to run across to the other side to take this corner. He's the central centre half, Will Wright. He does a bit of everything. Long throws, corners, you name it. He's over there taking this corner from their attacking left-hand side.
Everybody back for Notts. In swinging corner with the right foot of Wright. In it comes, dangerous looking ball towards the back post, but it's headed back into a dangerous area. Not yet cleared. Adeyemo puts it back in towards the back post, headed in, pushed away by Stone. Great save, but Dane's not yet cleared. It's back with Wright again, pulls it back. Cisse is there, he can just clear it downfield, but only as far as Campbell. Campbell gets the ball back. Gill trying to win it, can't do so. Laid in behind towards Campbell again. Cleared up in the air. Gill will challenge, he'll get there first in fact. Up towards McGoldrick, it's headed back towards their own goalkeeper, where Ashby Hammond is being pressed by Macaulay Langstaff. Let's just launch it downfield. It's a long one toward the far side. I don't think the flag's going to go up here, you know. Oh, it is in the end from the linesman against Adeyemo. But a great save from Aidan Stone to keep Notts in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lovely little ball, stood up to the back post, little floated ball. I think that might have allowed Stone just to get across his goal. He did well, moved well, got to his far post. As the header came in, it was goal bound. He had to get down to his right-hand side and parry it away. An important save. So questioned his decision-making for the second equaliser, or Crawley's equaliser, to make it 2-2, but it made up for it there with a decent save down by his right-hand post as we approach 89 minutes.
That clock is ticking away, but very slowly. Free kick for Notts. Stone launches it downfield towards the presence of McGoldrick. It's headed away only as far as Cisse. Crawley man's gone down off the ball here. I think him and it's Lolos, and I think him and Tipton collided completely accidentally, because when Lolos, who was on the ground, turned around and see Tipton apologise, he got straight back up again. The ball towards Cisse, cleared out for not throwing. Lolos has gone back to ground. I think that's just to tie his lace. And Tipton again just going over to apologise. I think completely accidental. Didn't see it, to be honest.
Yeah, the art of a coming together is to make it look accidental. But, you see plenty of it now in the modern day. Crawley have done it the same. You blocking players off the ball. You make it look like you're not looking, but you know exactly what you're doing. You're blocking players' runs, impeding them getting to the ball, but doing it in a clever way so the officials think it is accidental, and commentators.
Well, I don't know what laces he's got on, but he's still tying them, Clady Lolos, and we're waiting for him. All of us are waiting for him. He must have put that into a triple knot or something. Thrown into Makari, he goes to ground, definite foul from Adeyemo, and we're about to see a board for stoppage time. I can't see it being too high a number.
Well, the game's had a good flow to it. We're about to see the fourth officials, but 7 minutes.
7? Where on earth does 7 come from?
Well, so the officials are liking the game, they want more of it. Yeah, I'm with you, eh? We know there is extra added time nowadays, but I can't remember the physio being on in the second half. So we've had the substitutions, we've had the goal celebrations. By the way, somehow that adds up to 7 minutes.
Crawley have only made 2 subs. Notts have only made theirs in 2 windows. Been a handful of goals, but 7 minutes. Wow. We've played 30 seconds of them. Crawley have it inside their own half, then launch it long towards the far side. Good ball, actually, to find Adeyemo. Take down on the chest. Cisse trying to come across to block him off. Adeyemo keeps it for now. It's now with Lolos. Square to Gladwin. On again towards Campbell. Got Kellen Gordon outside of him, in behind. Jones trying to track it, he won't get there. Gordon will, and Stone can claim that pull back inside the 6-yard box. Gordon thankfully at too tight an angle to pull a meaningful cross in, and Stone can claim we've played 1 of the 7.
Yeah, Kellen Gordon just getting in behind. It's almost a Notts County-like move, isn't it? Adam Campbell playing the ball inside Jody Jones. for the underlap of their right wing back, Kellen Gordon, who gets to the byline. Thankfully, his low cross into the hands of Aidan Stone, and Nottingham clear.
Towards Ashby Hammond, who's just outside his penalty area, so he can't pick the ball up. Bakari heads his clearance on towards Gill. He finds it out towards Cisse. Bouncing ball, which is difficult to control. He does so. He actually wins Notts a throw-in. He does well out of Madhu Cisse. Thought about a quick throw-in, but I think he'll think again. He goes back to Bakari on halfway. Just over 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 15 seconds of stoppage time left to play. Long ball forward towards McGoldrick, who stays onside. Great first touch, but very good defending on recovery, and it's squared across the 6-yard box to the goalkeeper. Then pass out to Johnson. Langstaff wanted a bit of a press to come his way. Gill will try and stop him in his tracks, but he continues his run forward. It's good football between Johnson and Gordon, but then Johnson's ball forward, trying to find Dan Horsey, is too long, and again, thankfully and gratefully, runs through to Aidan Stone.
Yeah, Travis Gordon trying to play an absolute worldie of a ball, but on a zippy surface like this, it's got to be absolutely inch perfect, never going to have that sort of control. Thankfully through to Aidan Stone, and he knocks it long, and Notts look to pick up second balls.
Cisse on the far side keeps the ball in play well. Back to Bakari. First time stamps the ball down the line, but Wright is there. He'll go back to the goalkeeper. Langstaff putting the pressure on, forces him to pass it out quickly back to Wright. Up the line from him, Kelly lays it off and then plays a 1-2 around Austin to set Crawley away again. Here's Liam Kelly. Square to Gladwin, on again to Adam Campbell, just ahead of halfway. Now Kelly in the midfield again with a bit of space. They try and run forward with it, gives it square to Campbell, now halfway inside the Notts half. He's got Gordon ahead of him, got one to try and beat. That man is Jody Jones. Gordon goes around the outside of him. Jones gets enough on that to put it out for a corner with 4 minutes of stoppage time to go.
It's been a good battle down, well, Crawley's attacking right hand side, Notts defensive left. Jody Jones against Kellen Gordon. On that occasion, Jones blocking the cross, conceding the corner. Notts have to defend another set piece. 93.5 minutes on the clock. We're halfway through the 7 added on.
Well, right to take it. Again, everybody back for Notts and pretty much everybody forward for Crawley. Not the goalkeeper. In it comes towards the back post. It goes behind, off of a Crawley man for a goal kick. Is that Lawrence Maguire, I think, back there with a header?
Yeah, I think it was, flinging himself at it desperately beyond the back post, just trying to get something on it. Did get a header at full length, but couldn't control it, and harmlessly into the Hayden Green family stand as we say 3 minutes remaining, or it's a minimum of 7, isn't it? So it's a minimum of 3 minutes remaining.
Baldwin launches the ball downfield towards Langstaff. It goes over him, and that allows Jody Jones onto it, who's running towards the penalty area with it. Jones on towards his right foot, then cuts back on towards his left. Dinks a great cross towards the back post and headed clear. It was just too long for Langstaff and too short for McGoldrick, but Notts still have it. Jones will quite cleverly let it run out for a throw-in, which he throws backwards to Rawlinson. He has to go back with it to Baldwin on halfway. Runs in between a little gap which he's created for himself, then turns back and gives it to Rawlinson again. And he'll go back to the goalkeeper. Pressure coming on to him, so he's got to be quick-ish to find a pass square to Bakari. He just takes his time, finds a forward ball on towards Tipton. Out wide right to Austin. This is a good play from Notts. Sam Austin can run around a couple and continue his run forwards and then give it square to Gill, who runs around the outside of Adam Campbell and then lays it off wide left for Jody Jones, edge of the penalty area. Puts a cross in, headed up in the air, which again Jones will just try and see out, which he does well for another Notts throw-in. Notts have seen this game out so far very, very well.
Yeah, that's 5 for the 7 gone. Notts have a throw-in 7 or 8 yards up from the Crawley corner flag. Good possession from Notts, just trying to keep the ball in the Crawley half.
Langstaff, no foul given either way. Langstaff can continue into the box. Kills one! Oh, what a save
what
again.
a save!
What a save. The goalkeeper pushes that one onto the inside of the post and it bounces away. The second ball. Oh, Tipton's lost it in the midfield, and now Kelly can run forwards. Through the centre circle he goes. Tipton trying to recover, then brings him down. Might be a good foul to have made. Time will tell. Tipton will probably take the yellow card, which is inevitably coming his way for that.
Yeah, it's a good one for the team. That is his mistake initially. Tipton will go back to the save that tipped Macaulay Langstaff shot onto the post in a minute, but then Crawley looking to break. Tipton sliding in the middle of the park and getting it stuck between his feet and then taken off him by the Crawley man. who's running goal side of him, a yard or two ahead of him, attacking the heart of the Notts defence. Tipton just clips his heels about 35 yards from goal, middle of the pitch, so probably just outside shooting range from this free kick.
You would think so.
But either way, it looked like it could have been a dangerous break.
We are in the final minute of stoppage time. The wall is actually already in exactly the right place. You never often see that. And the wall is a good, well, it's not too far short, 10 yards outside of the box. So this free kick is at least 35 yards out. I would say everybody back for Notts. This is probably the last chance that Crawley have got to take us to a dreaded replay. It's towards the back post, to a free header, into a dangerous area. Baldwin as well to get there first and head it behind for a Crawley corner.
But again, it's a cut corner. This is going to be, you would think, the last action, certainly the last attack of the game. 97 minutes on the scoreboard. It's a corner to Crawley from their attacking left-hand side. Keeper's looking, he's not coming up for it.
Everybody forward apart from him, though. It's well right on the far side, in swinging corner, in towards the middle, headed up in the air by Aidan Baldwin. The referee blows for full time, and Notts are through to round 2.